Western Store, New Mexico Junk Masters, and Rig Outfitters and Home Store. Listen and win a Walt Disney World family vacation from your country, W105.
Southeast New Mexico weather.
On this Wednesday morning, southeast New Mexico temperature readings in Roswell with a high temperature reading around 50 to 52 degrees. Carlsbad, Artesia temperatures also in the lower 50s under a partly cloudy sky. At our radio studios in Hobbs and Lovington, temperatures will move into the middle, even the upper 50s with some sunshine breaking through this afternoon. By tomorrow, temperatures will drop to near 52 degrees in Hobbs and Lovington with a few showers. For W105 FM, I'm meteorologist Ron Roberts.
Your country plays on W105.
Be in the Breakfast Club powered by Carlsbad Chevrolet. Online at carlsbadchevrolet.com. Text line at 877-396-W105. Brought to you by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Online at amigo-machinery.com. Question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer. And YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook video feed brought to you by Desert Sand Water Well. Online at desertsandsnm.com.
Hello. Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I know what month it is.
It's a new year, so it's a new me.
Me too. It's a new year and a new me.
No, it's a new year.
It's New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I bring my Happy New Year's year round because everybody loves it.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Just feels good to say.
It's showtime.
And good morning to you. It is another day in paradise. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. I did not post up. I did not send the question of the day, so I got to do that. Welcome back, Will Rooney, as I'm working on the mind of a 65-year-old man this morning, evidently.
What's going on, guys?
And Tommy is still out of the studio this morning. He is just feeling off.
He's a little off.
We've been knowing that.
His voice sounded better.
Yeah, but let me just say this much. I've been knowing Tom a long time. And I know when I'm just not feeling. Am I wrong, Will?
No. No, God love him. But, and come to find out, I apparently have pneumonia. So when they did all the tests. So, but we'll make it.
No, we'll make it without him, believe me. All right, our number 877-396-W105. Any New Year's resolutions anybody has broken already? I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah,
that will be the question of the day. I gotta send that off.
I got so much stuff I got to do. I haven't really set a New Year's resolution.
Right.
I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing. Try to eat as healthy, live as healthy, be as healthy as long as I possibly can.
Well, I saw a thing that said 33% of people make New Year's resolutions at New Year's, and then 16% of people said they're going to do it later. And I don't know
that might not be a bad deal because I know people that go join the gym and sign up for the year.
Right.
And
I'm not really sure how it's a New Year's resolution when you do it later. But I'm glad you're here, Will. Thank you.
Check out the weather on the way. Today is Festival of Sleep Day, Humanitarian Day, JR Token Day, National Chocolate Covered Cherry Day, National Drink from a Straw Day, National Write to Congress Day. I think we should all write to Congress at least one time a year. Women Rock Day going on all day today. So some of the things that are going on. Tweet of the day on the way this morning. Got a lot of things to talk about. Republicans heading down to the border, and they will be looking at the situation. They're holding back funding for Ukraine and Israel with the one nugget that if we do not fix this border and you don't keep allowing, if you keep allowing people to come in, we're not funding Ukraine. Done.
Good.
Finish. Now, let's see if they have the wherewithal to hold to that. Because we know what has happened a million times.
Mm-hmm.
They say it, and they don't hold to it. So we can only hope and pray that they hold on to it.
Well, they counter the pressure.
Yeah. I mean, don't cave to it. Just Ukraine, sorry, you're not getting any more money. It doesn't matter if Zelensky comes over here and cries like a baby, and sorry, Joe Biden, if you're not adding to your retirement fund.
Zelensky will bring his yacht and ask for more.
Yeah, exactly. The president spent more than 1/3 of 2023 on away from the White House on vacation. 1/3 of his time spent on vacation. I got to be honest. What's the downside to this? I mean, mostly I would be bitching and moaning, but what's the downside of this?
Well,
I mean, maybe he can double it this year.
Well, so far in 2024, he has.
Yeah. But the problem
it's not like he's the one making the decisions anyway.
Right.
Yeah. The problem with all this, he keeps coming back. I mean, if you're going on vacation, just stay.
That's his resolution.
You ought to stay in St. Croix. I mean, it's beautiful. Just stay there.
You misinterpreted his resolution yesterday. When he said to be back next year, he actually meant like this week. He didn't mean.
Oh, gotcha. During a rare interview, President Biden had to be reminded by the First Lady that ice cream is his favorite food. They were asked about his favorite food, and he's like, and the First Lady said ice cream.
Anything soft.
Yes. Except the ice cream is not good for the Depends. Just saying, it's not. It's not healthy. It's not good. All right, tweet of the day. Are you offended by the American flag? I was kind of offended by this whole deal when people were asked if they're offended by the American flag. It's the American flag, by God. What's the matter with you? Craziness. Check of the weather being brought to you by our buddies at WWRV. Find them online at WWRV3.com, 988-0392. Give them a call this morning. 162 RV sites in Carlsbad. They have three different parks that are available for you, all coming with 30 and 50 amps, all coming with high-speed internet wired right to your hookup. Do you like to game or watch movies? This is not going to be a problem with these guys. Very clean, very well lit up, and they're pet friendly. So find out more information. Go to the website, WWRV3.com, or just pick up the phone and call them 988-0392. Beautiful today. Sunny skies, high temperature 57, 33 tonight. Tomorrow's a different story. We've got patchy fog in the forecast and rain. 50 for the high tomorrow, and then below freezing coming up Thursday night. Friday, beautiful. Saturday, beautiful. High temperature is going to be in the mid-50s. 5-day forecast, go to W105radio.com. Quick check of the weather being brought to you by our buddies at the Twin Wells Fuel Station. If you're on 128 this morning, you notice you're running low on fuel. Exit on Buck Jackson Road, go down 2.75 miles and fill her up. You'll see them. Once you get down Buck Jackson Road, you'll notice a large facility. It's covered, so if it's raining or nasty inclement weather, that's not a problem. Fill up today with unleaded, green diesel, red diesel, DEF value, and they do accept all credit cards, debit cards, and fleet cards. Open to the public. Don't sweat it next time you're on 128. Exit Buck Jackson Road. Go down to the Twin Wells Fuel Service. Check them out today. Trump's appeal to be removed from the main ballot. Former President Donald Trump has appealed removing from the Secretary of State, removing him from the ballot. 11-page complaint filed yesterday in the Superior Court. We'll see where this plays out. Of course, this is all about the insurrection and the 14th Amendment. And I think it's a huge overreach by the Secretary of State. Look for more states, even though California and Michigan have said, no, we're not removing him.
Well, and the other thing is this is a very dangerous precedent to set for our country, where your political opponents can remove you from a ballot because they think you did something. Not that you went through any legal process, but they just feel like that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't charged with it. I mean, Congress looked at all of this and they said, not guilty. We don't have enough to go on.
And they had a vendetta against him. If anybody would have found any nugget of anything for real, it would have been them, the Democrats. And of course, with all that investigation, they had nada.
Right. Yeah, nothing.
Well, he was found not guilty in the Senate.
Yeah, right. Now, Maine is the size of
Albuquerque.
Yeah, well, I think it's a little bit bigger than Albuquerque. But the Secretary of State also was the lead attorney for the ACLU for years. And didn't she work under Barack Obama?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's part of the team. She was also a senior editor for Time magazine. So let that sink in for a minute.
Will, was it Time? Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it Time magazine that came up with the plan about mail-in voting and all of that stuff?
They're the ones that basically, and then came out and admitted that them together with big tech helped skew the election in favor of Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
They came out with a master plan on how to do this. It was crazy. A woman in Minnesota is suing her dentist after receiving 4 root canals, 8 dental crowns, and 20 fillings in one single visit. Holy crap.
She must have been there all day.
I mean, 4 root canals is enough.
Don't they usually just, if you have that many, don't they knock you out? Aren't you under sedation?
Well, I would think so.
I mean,
even when I went to get my teeth taken care of, and I've got all the veneers, and I mean, I went in 2 visits, did the top, put the temporaries in, came back with the permanents a week later, and then we started on the bottom, probably 2 weeks after that. Holy crap. And why you're suing the dentist, you should have said, no, this is way too much work. She must have been his only patient that day. Holy crap. That's nuts.
Must have had good insurance.
Yeah, boy. Wander Franco, shortstop for the Tampa Bay Rays, arrested Monday in Puerto Rico. Make that in Dominican Republic. He is charged with having a relationship with a minor.
Not in the minor league, a minor.
No, with a minor.
Okay.
Wait, it's the Dominican Republic. I guess they care about stuff like that. And China's BYD sold a record number of cars in 2023, moving them closer to displacing Tesla as the world's largest electric vehicle company. BYD sold 1.4 million electric cars. Tesla sold 1.8 million. You know the difference between China's BYD and Tesla?
Price?
Well, probably price, but also Tesla will probably still be running 14 months after you buy it. Anything from China, it just doesn't last. I bought stuff from China before. It's not built to last.
So you're saying the wheels will stay on Tesla, but they will fall off on the other ones.
I mean, if you want to buy something that lasts, it's the Japanese, motorcycle that will last longer than the Chinese scooter. That's for damn sure.
True.
Chinese don't make anything to last. All right, 620 text line is open. We're coming back. The Biden administration seeking help from the Supreme Court. They want to cut down border barriers. Wait. Isn't the job of the Border Patrol to secure the border? I'll get to that next.
All right, so right away, good morning, guys. So, Mr. Will, do you have any good news for us?
Well, so not yet. There is some positive stuff going on with the whole transplant possibility. I have a couple of possible donors. I've got the main doctor who's an advocate for me to get the transplant, but it is not something that is for sure. We're waiting on to find out that everybody's healthy. Then there's a whole other trip to San Antonio that I have to make sure that we all get tested together for one final, yeah, you're good to go. And then I would be able to get and then I'm going to be in San Antonio for like a month. So after I get the transplant, so, knock wood if everything works right, but it's not horrible. And I've got some good indications. I'm definitely a lot, there's a lot better news than a lot of folks who are in the same position I'm in.
Well, that's good. And then another one here says, good to hear you back, Will. So that's good. And then,
thank you guys.
How does the Secretary of State of Maine have the authority to try to remove somebody from the ballot to begin with?
Well, obviously just in their state.
Well, look at this. We see what's happened in Colorado. Colorado Secretary of State removed him from the ballot, but the state said, no, he's going back on the ballot. So within a week, the state's like, no, we're putting him back on the ballot. Number one, they don't want the expense of having to fight this. Think of the millions and millions and millions of dollars that would be spent fighting this case.
That are going to be.
And why would you even fight that battle? Just let the people decide when they go to the ballots. When they go to the poll. You know what's crazy with this Colorado? They not only said his name can't be on the ballot, you can't write in his name.
That's crazy.
But he's back on the ballot in Colorado. And look, I would think that the Supreme Court would say that he's a duly qualified candidate, and you can't take him off the ballot. Let the people decide who they want to vote for. If they don't want to vote for him, then that's something totally different. Makes no sense. All right, price of oil coming up in a second. The tweet of the day this morning being brought to you by Janko Janitorial. Find them in Artesia right there on Main Street. Full-service commercial janitorial company. Need cleaning supplies. They have the commercial-grade cleaning supplies, or they can do all the cleaning for you. They do window cleaning, office cleaning, industrial cleaning, all field cleaning. They can strip the floors. They can wax the floors. They can clean offices. They can clean windows. They do it all. Look, all of their guys and gals are certified when it comes to hazmat certification, pathogen certification, and PPE certification. Go to the website, jankojanitorial.com, 575-703-1869. Check them out today. Tweet of the day. I had no idea it was terrible to wear the American flag. It makes me want to wear the American flag every day now, just to trigger you clowns. The American flag stands for something we should all be proud of. The American flag is not a bad thing. The American flag does not signal racism. Listen to this.
When you see a person with an American flag on their shirt, do you form any kind of opinion about them or no?
Yes, 100%. Yes, definitely.
And what is that?
Republican. Yeah, probably like a Trumpy. So they'd be the only ones like brave enough to wear it in public.
Brave enough to wear the American flag in public?
Yeah, like proud to wear it. Yeah.
Wearing an American flag on their shirt, do you racist?
Yes. Yeah, it's very racist. Patriotic for me. I think it's like more of like a lot of people like correlate it with like racism and stuff like that.
It could be someone that's super patriotic, and usually I think that it's a little too much.
Too much?
Too much.
I mean, like America, like I would just walk away. We come from Kansas, so we are around that a lot.
So you guys are around a lot of American flags?
Yeah.
What's the matter with people? I mean, where is the love for the country?
Well, and this is exactly what they're learning in school. This is the indoctrination they've been led to. I mean, whatever happened to the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning? You know, with I guess that's out the window because now it's just F America, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, American flag is racist.
No,
the American flag is not racist.
The symbol for freedom. The symbol. I mean, if there's anything that's opposite of racism, I would say that would be freedom.
I don't get it. And like I said, I have these conversations daily with idiots talking about the border crisis, and they have no idea. They have no idea. They have no idea that we have a deficit today that went over $34 trillion. Yes, today, the deficit went over $34 trillion. We're paying interest only.
If we're paying,
if you've ever had a credit card account and you ever paid interest only, the bare minimum, how long does that take you to pay that off?
Long time.
Forever.
You'll never pay it off.
Well, and if that is such a symbol of racism and oppression and all that stuff, why are all these people flooding here?
Thank you. It makes zero sense.
Like Will said, it's a symbol of freedom. It's a symbol of, hey, you can succeed.
Yep, no doubt. All right, here is the Maine Secretary of State. She was on CNN yesterday. Here's what she had to say about Donald Trump and keeping him off the ballot.
Do you have any concern taking Trump off the ballot risks tearing the country apart?
My duty under Maine election law and the Constitution and the oath I swore to the Constitution was to look exclusively at the hearing and the evidence before me and make a decision based on the law. Neither political considerations nor personal considerations for my safety could enter into that decision. I had a duty and an obligation to follow the Constitution, as do all of us who serve in government.
Maine, 1.3 million people.
Smaller than New Mexico.
1.3 million people. That's it. Thank you, Maine, for stepping it up. By God, thank you.
Except she's actually admitting that she didn't follow the law because she is interpreting the law.
Right.
Right? Because Donald Trump was not found guilty of any of the things she said he was guilty of.
Yeah. Yeah, you're 100% correct. All right, I'm taking out trash this morning, being brought to you by Trash Eaters. Trash-eaters.com. They do residential trash pickup. Check them out on the web or call them 575-390-4549. They also like us to remind you that the Lovington Animal Shelter, they need monetary donations and they need volunteers. So, look, if you can't give money, you can volunteer your time to help out around the shelter. Give them a call, 575-552-3669. Well, the Biden administration asking the Supreme Court to allow the Border Patrol to remove razor wire at the U.S.-Mexican border, along with escalating dispute between Joe Biden and the Texas governor, Greg Abbott, over border policy. The Border Patrol cuts it down, and Texas puts the Constantine wire back up. The dispute with the Border Patrol, and by the way, the union spokesperson for the Border Patrol said it is an horrific policy, but they're just following orders. He said it is what it is. So the federal law grants Border Patrol agents the authority without warrant to access local land, private land within 25 miles of the international border and do whatever they pretty much want to on that 25 miles of land. Doesn't matter if it's yours. They have the right to go on that land. They also have the right to cut down the Constantine wire. But I thought the job of the Border Patrol, and I'm not bashing on the Border Patrol, but I thought their job was creating a secure border.
It is.
Protecting us from other people from coming in from outside the country.
So Joe Biden, Mayorkas and his band of idiots gathered with the president of Mexico last week pretty much all they decided is that we're going to give more amnesty.
They decided whatever the Mexican president wanted is what we're going to bow down to.
We just bent over and took it instead of, by God, we're America.
Well, and these union reps and folks like that say, well, that's just my job. I'm always reminded that was the same excuse for the guy in Nazi Germany who pushed the button on the gas chambers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just my job.
That's just my job.
And that's
nothing here for you to see. It's just my job. Yeah. Thought for the day coming up. Looks like Texas can ban emergency abortion despite federal guidelines. That came down yesterday from the Federal Appeals Court. That ruling yesterday, siding with the state of Texas after that lawsuit accused them of going against the Biden administration. And Biden administration did send step-by-step guidelines, but this judge said Texas has the right to put forth abortion law based on the reversal of Roe versus Wade.
Right.
So we can't have widespread abortion in one state and say that's okay, and then say, well, this state can't govern itself.
And they ruled correctly because of
that.
So
you can't have it both ways. And if you don't like what Texas has done, you can either change the state, that's number one, or you can move to a state where abortions are open and free. Now, I could say the same about New Mexico and some of the things that are going on here, but no, we would rather change the state. That's what we'd rather do. Thought for the day coming up in a second. 6:32, Carlsbad police arresting a juvenile for involuntary manslaughter after a 15-year-old male shows up at the hospital with a gunshot wound. Carlsbad police arrested the male juvenile on involuntary manslaughter charges. They got a call on December 29th about 10:35 from the Carlsbad Medical Center about a male individual who was arriving at the hospital with a gunshot wound to the stomach area. Individual was later identified as a 15-year-old male. After officers talked to several juveniles at the hospital, it was disclosed to them that the incident took place in Carlsbad in the city limits. Carlsbad PD went to the residence where it had happened and confirmed the incident occurred there. A male juvenile has been charged with one count of involuntary manslaughter in reference to this case. This is a developing story. That's all that we have at this point. Price of gas in New Mexico, according to AAA, is at the lowest price in 3 years.
It went back up overnight.
So, but let's pretend that it's the lowest price in 3 years.
Well, it might be in 3 years.
Pretend. So let's pretend it's the lowest price in 3 years.
It might be, but it's definitely not the lowest price in 4 years.
There you go. That was my point. That Biden did all kind of stuff, and he created this debacle. Prices went up. He did it. Nobody else did it.
But
crazy.
That's par for this administration. They create something that causes a problem, and then they blame Trump for the problem. Then
self-inflicted.
And then say they're going to fix it. And when it comes down slightly off of the incredibly record high that they've set, then they say, look, it's coming down.
It's a big deal now.
But it's still way higher than it was.
All right, a win yesterday for Donald Trump. We're going to get to that. And Hobbsman accused of leading police on a chase. We'll get to that. Plus, the thought for the day still to come. Price of oil being brought to you by Spinnaker Oilfield Cementers. They are not hiring at this point. They are not hiring in Texas, Oklahoma, or New Mexico. They filled all their positions. Maybe in 2024 they start expanding. I'll let you know when that happens. They're an awesome company to work for. They offer one of the best incentive packages in the business. Also, great rate of pay. Drug-free employer. Also, of course, an equal opportunity employer. If you want to just check them out, just go to greatoilfieldjobs.com. Price of oil this morning at $6.35.
It's really bouncing around this morning, too. I've seen it up as high as almost $2 a barrel. But right now, it's West Texas crude is at $70.89, Brent crude at $76.56, and natural gas at $2.61.
All right, we'll get to the Hobbs story and a win for Donald Trump. We'll get to that coming up next. Our number 877-396-W105, man on the street. Man on the street this morning. People are dumb. I don't know if you guys have figured that out. Will you figure it out? People are pretty stupid.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, especially in this state, you look at all the people north of I-40.
So people are pretty dumb. And so the man on the street's asking basic questions that, man, anybody should ought to be able to answer these questions. Here we go.
Do you know how long 1 decade is?
Ain't about like 100 years.
Yep. Do you know how many nickels are in $1?
I would say 1,000.
Yes. If you're driving 60 miles an hour and you've been driving for 1 hour, how far do you travel?
Driving 60 miles an hour and you're driving for 1 hour?
Yeah.
Isn't that like 80 miles?
The answer is in the question.
Yes.
Yeah, the answer is the question.
You should have saved
and
this
you
for
still
tomorrow.
Screwed it up.
You should have saved these for tomorrow.
My God, what is the matter with you? I mean, these are questions, and do you have any idea where they ask these questions? On the campus of a university. I can't make this up.
Well,
I cannot make this up.
It really goes to show that education and intelligence are not equated in any way.
Yeah.
You could have lots of people with degrees, but that does not mean that they're intelligent. It just means they have education.
All right, one more cut that's kind of crazy. Did you know that they just did a study on structural racism and poor health? And they discovered that you're not responsible for your own eating habits. Here we go.
So important for us to connect the dots. The dots that need to be connected are that, individuals are only responsible for about 20% of what makes them healthy. The other 80% are these systemic factors that Dr. Boulware and her colleagues studied in this very, very important research that needs to inform how communities and resources are given. So, for example, we have seen a chronic disinvestment in Black communities and communities of color.
Oh, shut the hell up. I'm serious. Nobody is telling you what to put in your belly.
I understand when they talk about food deserts where there's a lack of healthy choices. I understand that. But what is she talking about?
Well, because it's not your responsibility. It's other, 80% is, oh, stop it already. Nobody is forcing you to eat a certain way. Look, we have all binged. Everybody that's in that studio or on the radio with us right now, we've all binged. We've all ate bad food. And we've all paid the price.
Yep.
It's not racist. It's that we made bad decisions. And as soon as we admit that, the better off we are. We made bad decisions. We'll make better decisions.
But it doesn't fit the narrative if we don't tie race into it somehow.
Oh, yeah, that racism. All right, Harvard president.
Yes.
President Gay is out.
Yes.
Well, is she?
She's still going to make $900,000.
$900,000 as a professor at Harvard. Jesse Waters discussed it, and listen what CNN had to say. Well, she didn't plagiarize, did she?
Claudine Gay became the shortest-serving Harvard president in 4 centuries. Forced to resign in disgrace after she was caught plagiarizing half of her published academic scholarship. the gravest sin in academia. 50 instances of academic fraud and counting, or as CNN calls it, sloppy attribution.
We should note that Claudine Gay has not been accused of stealing anyone's ideas in any of her writings. She's been accused of sort of more like copying other people's writings without attribution. So it's been more sloppy attribution than stealing anyone's ideas.
There's a word for that. That's great. That's great that they're using that they're redefining the word. But there's a word for that. It's called plagiarism.
Yeah, she didn't steal their ideas. No, she stole their work word for word.
Oh Lord. So let me equate this to when I write a story, right? If I take something from somewhere else, I give an attribution at the end.
Sure.
Example,
the
Associated Press.
Well, but it was lazy attribution. Come on, Blake. She meant to do it. She just forgot.
Well, and one of the ladies that she stole stuff from wanted her fired and said, I work. And by the way, she's an African-American woman.
Right.
Said, I worked my butt off to get where I'm at. And she stole my work.
So shouldn't she have to give part of that $900,000 salary? God, that's
and who
unbelievable.
can sit in her class? I would plagiarize every report that I had to give turn in. If it's good for her, it ought to be good for me, right?
Yes.
Let's just be honest here. The only reason she wasn't fired on day one is because she fit the 3 pillars of liberalism. Black, woman, lesbian. That's the reason why.
Yes.
Let's just be honest. All right, thought for the day coming up next. Judge dismissed 3 civil counts against Donald Trump and others over the death of the January 6th officer, Brian Sicknick. Sicknick. And so the federal judge yesterday dismissed most of the civil cases against Donald Trump and 2 others in connection with the death of that Capitol police officer.
Because he died of a heart attack.
Autopsy. They did the autopsy, and even his family came out and said he did not die. He called us after everything. There was no wrongful death. There was no neglect. But they paraded him around the Capitol Rotunda like he was a fallen military soldier to fit the narrative.
Right.
So the judge threw all that out. Blake, what do you know about the Hobbs man accused of leading police on that chase after refusing to stop at a DWI checkpoint? Did you see the story?
I have not seen it yet, no.
Yeah, he was. They arrested Michael Padilla after refusing to stop at a DWI checkpoint, according to New Mexico State Police. This happened on December 28th. And Padilla approached checkpoint driving at a high rate of speed, then sped through the checkpoint. They chased him, and the chase got up to 100 miles an hour. Police deployed the spike strips. One of the officers performed a pit maneuver that finally took him out. He did very bad when it came to the sobriety test, too. Panea has been charged with aggravated DUI, aggravated assault upon a police officer, resisting and evading arrest, and battery on a police officer. Probably not the smartest move that you made.
Well, I mean, drinking and driving was a bad enough decision as it was.
Yeah, that was bad. That was very bad. Text line open 877-396-W105B on the Breakfast Club. We'll talk about immigration. New York is crying this morning. We'll get to that next.
Praying for you, Will. Everything will turn out good. And Smokey in Arizona this morning says, good morning, guys. Glad to hear you on the radio this morning. And Will, we have turned Ryan from Pace in Arizona on to be in the Breakfast Club, and he's loving the show. Well, good, Ryan. We're glad.
Oh, Ryan, welcome, buddy.
Yeah, we're glad you're with us. Apparently, all college teaches is hatred for America now. And then it's not racism. It's just another excuse to not have accountability for your own choices. And then I had Travis from Texas this morning, and I lost it. I got to go find it here in a second. But he was
yeah, I got it. He says, please don't encourage any more morons to try and change our state. We have enough people from Cali moving in. Let's keep Texas red.
Amen to that.
Right.
Amen to that.
Yeah. So finally, I got one here that says, I'll be glad when we get a Republican back in office. I am going nuts hearing the word racist. When a Republican is in office, we absolutely never hear the word except when a spoiled liberal didn't get their way.
Look, I have come to believe that the word racist, bigot, are all crutch words when somebody can't defend our ideology. I mean, I can't even go online and say Deion Sanders sucks as a coach without being called a racist or a bigot. I had a pastor call me a bigot, and all I said was, pump the brakes. He signed 5 kids. That's it. He called me a bigot. I take offense to when you call me a bigot. I take offense. I take offense when you call me a cracker, because I ain't never cracked no whip.
You ought to ask him if he's one of those preachers that tries to deep fry employees.
Yeah, well, I had to point out to him, please point out what I said that was racist or mean-spirited. Pump the brakes. He signed 5 kids. That's it. You can take that whatever way you want it. I don't care. Man identified as 27-year-old Payson Dickey was found dead in Farmington at a residence, and his brother Arson Dickey, 25 years old, has been arrested accused of second-degree murder. Arson Dickey stated that he and his brother were drinking alcohol in a trailer when they got into a physical fight. One thing led to another, and that's when he cut his brother with a box cutter.
That was deep.
He has been arrested on second-degree murder charges. We talked about Claudine Gay, Harvard president, resigning. She's done. And the New Mexico Supreme Court's going to hear the arguments over the governor's public health orders. So they will hear, of course, the governor put those health orders in September.
Yeah, I was going to say they're only 4 months late.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, thank you. And so they're going to hear this, and we'll see where it goes. The arguments in the case begin. Is that this coming? It says on Monday. So nobody was working this past Monday. I will take that to believe that it's going to be upcoming Monday. Right. And speaking of Supreme Court, a man broke into the Colorado Supreme Court overnight, opened fire inside the building. State police said in a news release. Nobody injured in that case. Let me just say this. Nobody's happy that Donald Trump was taken off the ballot. But when we do stupid stuff like this, it doesn't make anybody look good. It doesn't make Donald Trump look good. It doesn't make MAGA look good. It makes nobody look good. Pretty sad. Pretty sad. By the way, the whole thing was reversed. Here's a story about the national debt. The U.S. national debt tops $34 trillion for the first time in American history. First time in American history, the U.S. debt topples $34 trillion.
Can we even climb out of that? I mean, is it even possible?
I don't think it is. By comparison, 4 decades ago, the national debt was about $907 billion. That just sink in for a second. And making interest-only payments, we're never going to get out of this. 10 minutes away from 7 o'clock. Thought for the day this morning being brought to you by Wakefield Oil, 35 years serving Southeast New Mexico. Quality products, excellent service, dependable. Boom or bust, they are there for you. They deliver gas, diesel, DEF value, interstate batteries, and more. Go online to check them out at wakefieldoil.com. Thought for the day is the most The superpower most of us ought to choose is the power to make people happy.
Oh.
Unfortunately, it is the hardest also. All right, New York City. They're still whining about immigration. When a little town like Eagle Pass, Texas, is getting 3,000 people in a day. The population's only 15,000.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting 3,000 people in a day. And New York City is crying about 3,000 people, what, a month?
Yeah, they've had like 160,000 since the spring of 22.
So, and New York City, because they are a sanctuary city, they have to give housing to every illegal immigrant. Now, what about citizens? Do people get free housing for being citizens? What about
Have you seen New York prices?
Huh?
Have you seen New York prices? Yeah,
So
if you're a citizen, you pay a lot.
I don't get why we are putting foreigners before citizens. Some people will say, well, you're a racist. No. Please don't get afflicted. I'm not a racist. You want to call me a separatist or a nationalist, I'll accept that. I'm good with that. I'm actually good with it. Yes, I want to put America first. I have no qualms with that. But New York City is at its breaking point, according to, listen to this.
The concern is that people are coming in faster than we've normally seen. It's yet to be seen how much that will cost. What I can tell you is that the crisis up to this point has cost $3 billion. And as more people come, the cost continues to go up. The issue for New York is that they're not only dealing with newly arrived migrants, they're dealing with folks that have already been in New York City housing and are now being reticketed. So all of these folks already had free housing here in New York, and then they were given eviction notices, essentially 30 or 60-day notices telling them that they have to leave their shelter. But because this is a sanctuary city, housing is guaranteed. So if they wait in line, they can reapply and then be rehoused. And what you're seeing is this line which wraps around the corner, and it has been this long all day long. But
by the way, this is nuts. This is nuts that we have to give people housing.
That line should lead to train cars that go back to the border and put them on the other side.
Yes. Send them back home. They want housing, send them back home. Biden was asked about this. His answer is comical at best. Now, you have to listen because he's outside walking to the helicopter. Listen to what he said. So it's hard to hear, but they asked about immigration and the problems at the border, and he said, well, we have to do something. We have to do something. Thank you, Joe. By God. And Carrie Jean-Pierre called the Republicans shameful.
It is shameful that a Republican governor, Governor Abbott in Texas, is using migrants as a political stunt. That's what he's been doing.
So you're referring to the busing of migrants to northern cities?
Absolutely. And the busing of migrants, the putting them on flights, it is shameful that that is occurring. And instead of, if the governor really, truly wants to deal with this issue, he should talk to the senators in his state.
By the way, who started busing people and flying them all over the United States? That would be the Biden administration.
I would say the Biden administration did.
I mean, they were doing it way before Abbott decided, but it was okay when they did it.
They just got mad whenever they were sending them to the places that were asking for them. Mm-hmm. The sanctuary cities. I'm sorry. If you've come out as a sanctuary city and decided that you have your arms are wide open, then what is the issue?
Well, you know, I always like to ask, and I asked this question to some liberal today. How many have you taken it? Well, I volunteer. I do stuff. No. How many have you taken it? I mean, if you like that policy, then you ought to be ready to give. Well, I'm barely surviving myself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yep. Take the windows and doors off your home and quit messing around. Let's get to it. Let people come and go unvetted in and out of your house and play the fun game. Will they murder me tonight or not?
Mm-hmm. Will they steal all my stuff?
Donald Trump came out with a story, and I've got it somewhere, where he said that mental facilities, they're clearing out jails, prisons, and mental facilities in some countries and shipping them our way.
Mm-hmm.
This is a train wreck that's already happening. Anybody watching the ball game, the Sugar Bowl? Anybody watch that ball game? Anything crazy happen? ESPN apologized for showing a woman dropping her top during a broadcast of the Sugar Bowl on Monday, saying that the footage, no, it wasn't footage, it was breastage, should have never seen the light. Football fans stunned as the network aired the clip on Bourbon Street. It's not like it was a live video.
Right.
Somebody put it in the clip. And I got to say, I missed it. And the first question that comes to mind, were they perky or were they like biker chick boobs?
Well, I think it's probably going to end up online somewhere. I'm sure you'll be able to find the video.
So anyway, ESPN is apologizing. And a woman arrested Monday night following the domestic disturbance where she was reportedly locked herself into the bathroom and pulled a knife on a deputy. Myra Ann Jordan, 32 years old, Roswell, charged with one count of aggravated assault upon a police officer with a deadly weapon, tampering with evidence, resisting, evading, and obstructing an officer, according to the criminal complaint filed by the Chaves County Magistrate Court. Deputies were dispatched to an apartment on Kentucky about a domestic disturbance. Complaint says that during the call, the female was yelling at two subjects and striking each other. And when police got there, she pulled the knife on the police officer. She's been charged with a host of different charges. When we come back, a Biden flashback. Also, a woman is very upset with the term Latinx. I'll explain why Mama Bear is upset with the term Latinx. She's not happy with Latinx. I'll get to that coming up next. Morning show this morning being brought to you by our friends in Artesia at Roadrunner Grill and Barbecue, 811 West Main in Artesia. If you haven't been in there lately, yes, they're at a brand new location, the old Touchdown Barbecue location, serving up breakfast right now. They offer the same great food and including barbecue now. You want to say thank you for a great 2023 where your men and women just busted their hump to get the job done in the patch. Roadrunner Grill can prepare the meals, and you can bring them out there, and they can all chow down and enjoy the meals. No other way to say thank you like food. Unexpected food is good, no doubt. Check them out today, 811 West Main in Artesia. Call in advance, 575-736-2573. Check them out today. Text line open, 877-396-W105.
Let's go to the phone line first. We have a phone call. Good morning. You're on B in the Breakfast Club.
What's going on, boys?
Another day, another 55 cents.
Man, first of all, I wanna say I love your show, but sometimes I have to call in and bring up a few facts that
all right, go ahead.
I have noticed that I have noticed you guys are maybe bouncing around a little bit, maybe from time to time. With all those interviews that you just played over the radio with the people not knowing how many dimes are in a dollar or how many years are in a decade. What do they all have in common?
They're all out of college.
Right, because they did that interview at a college.
And they're all women. That's the point I was trying to make.
You had to go there.
I mean, let's be honest. Don't cut me off. I have some things to say. I'm not going to say anything that's bad. I'm just going to say something that's controversial, and I believe it needs to be said. And there's a lot of people out there, women and men, conservative women and men, that would agree with me.
Go ahead.
Every single one of these were women. Did you know that most Democrats are women and most women are Democrats? Did you know that?
I would go along with that to a certain degree.
Okay. Now, with that being said, we sit here and bitch and complain about the Democrats all day, every single day. Okay. Why are we not addressing the problem? Why can't we admit the fact that America started going straight to hell the day we let women start voting?
Oh.
Ouch.
Why am I the only one with the balls to get on the radio and tell the truth?
Look, I think women have every right to be able to vote. I think if women have every right to be able to vote and make a choice on who they vote for.
This is what you get. When you let women vote, this is what you get.
So should we not let them drive and go to school?
No, because they don't know how to drive either.
So you're just going to... But here's the problem with making a blanket statement like that. Saying that all women shouldn't be allowed to vote, that all women shouldn't be allowed. What about the women who have the same opinion as you? I mean, you're shooting yourself in the foot too. Now, are there a lot of liberal females? Absolutely, but you can't make a blanket statement about anything, all races, all. That's like saying all men.
Let me respond to that. Let me respond to that. Okay.
Go for it.
To that, Will. First of all, I'm a truck driver. I'm on the road every day. I see women on the phone. I see women doing makeup. I see women eating breakfast while they're driving. I mean, I've seen it all, okay? Now, I'm not saying every guy is the perfect driver either. No, that's not what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that all women here in West Texas and Southeast New Mexico are liberals, because as a matter of fact, they're not. Most of them are conservative. I'm talking the overall women of America. The vast majority are Democrats.
I'm gonna look that up. Do you have a daughter?
No, I don't.
And if you did, you would feel the same way? Because I'm going to be honest, I have a great daughter that's level-headed, a great driver, a great conservative, a great mom.
Again, I'm not necessarily talking about the women here in West Texas and Southeast New Mexico. Majority of them are conservative. Thank God, okay? I'm talking about the overall average in America. Most women are liberal.
But do you have a wife?
No, thank God. I got rid of her.
Okay.
And you know what? I even went as far as getting rid of all of the female dogs that I have. I got rid of all those females in my life.
You're killing me, bro. You're killing me. I'm looking this number up. When we come back, I'm gonna have the based on.
Please look it up, because the numbers
I'm gonna look it up.
The facts are the facts.
Hey, I appreciate you, brother. You take it easy. Hey, I like shaking things up every once in a while. I'm sure we're going to have some women that have some answers for you.
Please.
Coming up in just a second. I'm sure we'll have that. All right, quick check of the weather this morning being brought to you by All American Cleaners. All American Cleaners, family owned and operated. Wash, dry, and fold your clothes. 17 pounds, $16.99. Roswell, Artesia, Carlsbad, Lovington, and in Hobbs. They can dry clean your clothes, starch them up, keep you looking good. More information available. Just go to allamericancleaners.net. Sunny skies today, 57 for the high, 33 tonight. Fog tomorrow, patchy, drizzle, and fog. A mix of all of that, and a nasty day expected tomorrow for your Thursday. 50 for the high. And then sunny skies Saturday, Sunday, and looks like Monday's actually going to look good also. Check of the weather being brought to you by State Representative Randy Pettigrew, District 61. Get in touch with Randy. By the way, he's running for his third term in office. Needs your help, too. If you can give to his campaign, Find out more information at RandallPettigrew.com. RandallPettigrew.com. You know, the cool thing about Randy is that he believes that he works for the people in District 61.
He does.
So if you need help dealing with anything going on in Santa Fe, please reach out to Randy Pettigrew, RandallPettigrew.com. By the way, when our buddy was talking, one person came to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know Candy Spence, Zell.
Oh, of course.
Talk about a conservative woman that can drive and work on a ranch, and boy, that'd be interesting.
I have a problem with labeling any group of people as all one thing.
Absolutely.
Well, and we get it too about the media. I had somebody say, well, you work for that liberal media. No, wait a second here. Wait a second here. So I'm gonna dive into these numbers.
Well, and we do
when it comes to
we have another
women.
caller probably going to go the other way if you want.
All right, let's go to the call, and then we'll come back.
Okay. Good morning. You're on Be in the Breakfast Club.
Hey, how y'all doing this morning?
We're good. We're good.
That old boy, I want to call and tell you something else, but I'm gonna. If you give me a minute, being here, I got something I want to say. That boy just called. I mean, I know a lot of women, and yeah, a lot of them are they're liberal too, but some are very conservative. My wife's very conservative. My daughter, she's liberal, but by God, she's a smart young girl. She's got her master's, she's got her college education. She's going on getting some more.
Mm-hmm.
She got a great job working for the state of Colorado, and she's a really good driver. And I'm so proud I could scream. So I said something like that. That kind of gets my goat, because I don't appreciate talk. Because to me, if he says all women, he's talking my little girl, and I get kind of pissed about that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. And as I look up the number, men and women, Democratic Party made up of, as far as women, and I got to scroll, so this thing is messed up. But when it comes to men and women, Democrat, Republican, 44% of women in the Democratic Party are women. Let me make sure. No, 51% are men, 44% women. And it's pretty much the opposite when it comes to the Republican Party. 54% men, 48% women. So the numbers are not that.
It's about equal right there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we're pretty much close to 50%.
Yeah, I seen a lot of guys driving on. I seen one guy on the interstate. I swear to God, driving his truck with his feet.
Mm-hmm.
I seen guys almost got run me over the other day, pulling out of a side road, talking on a cell phone. Wouldn't even pay attention. I had to laying out my horn in my truck, give him to wake up. So he's on a stupid cell phone. It ain't just women doing it.
No.
And one more thing, and I'll shut up. Do you remember back when Cuba sent us all of their prisoners and mental patients and people to get out of their country? Who was in office at that time? They all flooded Florida out. When one of our illustrious Democrat presidents again?
Yep. Yeah. I do remember that.
They're using they're using us for a dumping ground again.
And you know what? I am scared that's exactly what we are, a dumping ground.
Yep.
And so we are going to have to spend so much money on medical and mental and all kind of, it's just sad. And we don't have the money. People think we're America. We got money coming out of the wazoo. We're broke. Mm-hmm. We're about bankrupt. Yep. That's the truth.
One lady come by the shop this morning. She's Spanish, and she was selling burritos. And I was like, I don't have a problem with her. She couldn't speak Spanish, but couldn't speak English. But she was working, trying to make a living, making burritos, taking about to the truck drivers and to the oil field.
Right.
Pretty good burrito too. So people like that, I don't have a problem, but they want to get up and work and do their fair share.
I'm good with people that are working. Absolutely. That's for sure. By the way, just to get back to the women and men, Democratic Party, in 2018, 58% of Democrats were women. 2022, 51%. The number of women switching over it's changing, about an 8% swing from 2018 to 2022.
Well, it's like you said, Kevin, even the African Americans and the Hispanics are leaving the Democratic Party because everybody is sick of Sleepy Joe.
Right. Yeah, they're tired. Hey, I appreciate you, buddy. We got a flashback. Joe Biden. We'll talk about the Latinx. What the hell is Latinx? We'll get to that coming up next. On the way, New Mexico ranks in the middle of the pack in terms of home utility bills. And you remember the guy that Joe Biden went on his show? By the way, it's Charlemagne and the Breakfast Club. We need to patent that. We need a... Anyway, remember Joe Biden said, if you're not black if you don't vote for me?
Right.
He's speaking out about Joe Biden. City attorney named in the city of Hobbs. We'll talk about that. 31 migrants abducted from a bus in Matamoros. We'll talk about that. Burger King employee got him a brand new home. Sean Hannity leaving New York City. We'll tell you where he's moving. And New Mexico recently set up a fund for conservation. We'll dive down in that and more coming up this morning. Our number 877-396-W105, 712 morning show being brought to you by Rig Outfitters in the Home Store. Broadmoor Mall, extensive collection of everything that you need to work in the patch. FR jeans, coveralls, steel toe boots, safety gear, hard hats. Whatever it is you need, I guarantee you they've got it. Winter wear. And they also have furniture, appliances, and electronics. And they offer that with zero down financing. Right next door is Scrub Outfitters, the largest selection of scrubs in 100 miles. Big name brands like Healing Hands and Meg Couture, and also Peaches and Dickies. Compression socks. They've got a huge selection of compression socks, all colors, all designs. And, of course, comfy shoes also. Scrub Outfitters, Rig Outfitters in the Broadmoor Mall. Check them out today. Wrap up the text line, then we're going to take our break. We're late at 7:13.
Yeah, well, as you can imagine, there were a lot of text coming in about.
Oh, it went crazy.
I'm just going to get one or two here. It says it's a gender thing, not an IQ thing. Democrats are idiots. And then when you were giving out the percentages, you were kind of talking. So John from Eunice is picking on you, saying 44% of the women in the Democratic Party are men.
Yeah, actually,
well, I think they're men.
That's probably true. Yeah,
I think they're men.
Oh,
well, they think they're men. That's the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of folks pointing out that they think the caller was wronged by some women, and therefore that's where his opinion lies. So.
I mean, look, the gender gap is actually from women is actually swinging to the Republican side. It really is. Like I said, we gained 8 points with women from 2018 to 2022. And when you break that down between, look, when we look at black women, 92% of women, black women, are members of the Democratic Party. Well, 92%.
And, he wanted to talk about women being able to do stuff and driving and things like that. And I want to point out, before my wife was diagnosed with frontal temporal dementia, she was actually a crane operator. And she was one of only 10 women in the country to be a certified crane operator. So I have the highest regard for women who do things like that. And for him to make blanket statements saying women can't, I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah. All right, 7:14. We're going to take our break. KWMW Maljamora 105.1 FM, better known as W105. Keep listening. More ways to win. Want to win a trip to Disney? All information's coming soon. Keep listening for more ways to win. Will, when we're going to kick off people qualifying?
I believe it is next week. We're going to get people started. We start taking phone calls.
All right, so we'll get people qualified for that as soon as next week. Check the news this morning being brought to you by your mountain getaway, Camp of the Tall Pines. Beautiful, scenic, Mayhill, New Mexico. Scott and Jamie Miller, boy, they made so many improvements to the place since they bought it. And cozy cabins, they've added those, raised platform campsites, RV hookups, lots of RV hookups. The pond is stocked and ready for you to go fishing. No need. You might say, well, I don't have a fishing license. Well, it's on public property. It's a public pond, so no need to have a fishing license. High ropes, low ropes, mountain biking, lots of things for you to do. And if you're bringing the kids up there, lots of things for the kids to do. Find them online at camptallpines.com. You can make your reservations there or call them at 575-687-4101. We're coming right back. 7:16. We're W105.
News brought to you by Stone Oilfield Services in Lovington. Getting the job done right every time since 2004.
Proudly serving most phases of the oil field process, Stone Oilfield Services has a fleet of over 60 trucks and a workforce of over 100 employees. From water transport to kill and vac truck operations, flowback services and pit filling to the clean out of rigs and tanks, as well as oiling and acidizing, Stone Oilfield believes in getting the job done right every time. Their central motto, do what you say you can do. Call them today at 575-396-1840. That's 396-1840.
MTD Radio News, I'm Joe Miller. It was a memorable New Year's Day for a group of New Mexicans who marched proudly in the 135th Annual Rose Parade in Pasadena, California. 7 members of the Order of the Thistle from Santa Fe and 3 members from New Mexico Fire and Rescue joined Pipes on Parade, who gathered roughly 100 other bagpipers from around the world to perform. The group marched 5.5 miles and is planning to make it back to New Mexico sometime this week. Inducted into the Carlsbad Hall of Fame December 29, Janelle Whitlock was remembered as fair with people and caring about her community. Whitlock died in 2021. She led an active life after moving with her family to Carlsbad back in 1957 from her native Arkansas. She had an extensive career as a public servant in Carlsbad as municipal judge, city councilor, and county commissioner. During her induction ceremony at the Carlsbad Museum, Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce Chief Executive Officer Chad Ingram said he developed a lifelong friendship with Whitlock after being ticketed as a young man for drag racing along Canal Street. Some of those memories being shared there. A Carlsbad High School student reportedly died in a shooting that happened over the weekend, according to Gary Washburn, superintendent of Carlsbad Municipal Schools. Washburn said police investigating the situation and did not have any more details as of yesterday morning. He said the incident involved a minor whose name and identifying information was not publicly released. Washburn said counseling services were offered by the Carlsbad Municipal Schools to any student in need. And that's a look at what's happening on your Wednesday. I'm Joe Miller, MTD Radio News.
You know what makes me sick? You know what makes me want to pump sunshine up your skirts with the help of a fire hose? I heard this new study they got out the other day. Got me thinking. Some twisted science tweezer brain somewhere done a study. Found out people with positive attitudes make more money. Yeah, they discovered people with positive and happy in high school made $8,000 a year more than the rest of us by the time they was 29 years old. I think I have found my problem. But that don't mean I'm changing. I will admit, people have told me more than once I got a bad attitude. I don't think I got a bad attitude. I think I got a realistic attitude. It just so happens the world is going to hell, and I'm observing it. First of all, I question the research. I don't think somebody makes more money because he's happy and positive. Think about it. He's probably happy and positive anyway because he makes more money. It would certainly lighten my mood. I mean, I ain't gonna stroll in here every day like some phony nut job with a smile plastered on my face, little cartoon bird dancing around my head singing zippity-doo-dah just to make more money. That ain't me. That's Tony Robbins or a Mooney. That ain't Earl Pitts. And I realize there are some positive and upbeat people out there. You might be one yourself with your go-get-em attitude, your creepy zombie smile, all the time wanting to help the rest of us. Give us a few words of encouragement. You're what the rest of us call brown nosers. And while we appreciate your effort, honest to God, you wear on us. And now that we know how much more money you make than the rest of us, we're about to take that smile off your face. Wake up, America! While I'm thinking of it, if being positive and upbeat was all that financially rewarding, where's the Up With People concerts anymore? Ain't heard of them in a dog's age. Amaro Pitts American Pizza.
At Coffee Drilling LLC, they offer a wide range of drilling services from small domestic water to agricultural and monitor wells. In addition to mud and rotary drilling, Coffee Drilling offers services to pre-existing wells as well as troubleshooting of pumps and all control systems. Call Coffee Drilling today to schedule your routine maintenance or see about an upgrade to your water system. Call 505-270-1767. That's 505-270-1767. Coffee Drilling LLC, over 20 years experience and serving all of Hobbs, Lovington, and Eunice.
W105 is giving away another trip to Walt Disney World in Florida. It's a trip for 4 with airfare, hotel, and 3-day park passes included. Each time you hear the Disney sounder, be one of the first 10 callers, and we'll get you signed up. It's presented by SDR Enterprises and sponsored by Benny's Western Store, New Mexico Junk Masters, and Rig Outfitters and Home Store. Listen and win a Walt Disney World family vacation from your country, W105. Breakfast Club. On air, online, on your phone. Powered by Carlsbad Chevy and broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain God Studio.
Hey, you're up. Wow, early risers.
It is 7:22. We are beyond the Breakfast Club. According to a brand new survey, 47% of Americans think they can write a self-help book based on their life experiences. 47% have a sense of humor. And I'm totally shocked because I'm like, Americans still read? Write a book?
Well, they think they're going to get rich.
Yeah. And 55% of Americans believe that it's time to ditch the New Year's resolution. Number one resolution for 2024 is to not do a resolution. Millennials came in as the generation that they're done with the classic resolution. Do you know why? Resolutions take work. That's the reason why. Senator Menendez hit with another indictment, second superseding indictment unsealed yesterday against a New Jersey Democrat, Bob Menendez. He accepted expensive gifts, favorable comments, and all kind of other from Qatar.
Gold.
Qatar. Qatar. You mean the people that are working with Hamas? They're kind of the great negotiators with Qatar. And by the way, he's still serving in Congress. Let that sink in. He's on foreign affairs.
Well, he's got to be on foreign affairs so he can accept those bribes of gold bars.
But they got rid of the other guy, the Republican. Why wouldn't they be able?
You said the key word.
Oh, Republican. Okay.
Yep.
Justice Department announced yesterday that the California-based telecommunications company agreed to pay $10 million in a settlement as they are accused of making billions of robocalls. Weren't they supposed to get rid of those robocalls completely?
Supposedly. You're supposed to be able to opt out of them, too, but that doesn't ever happen either.
No, that doesn't happen. So anyway, they did force him to pay $10 million. Mexican actor. Wait a second. It says actor Ana Ophelia, who was Mama Coco.
Okay.
It says actor. That would be actress.
Yeah. Well,
anyway,
they like that gender neutral thing.
Oh, gender neutral. Oh,
yeah, actor means everybody.
And it looks like it's dry January, or what they're calling let your hair go, let it be wild, and celebrate January. Just let everything grow. And guess who passed away over the weekend? Legendary Vegas comedian Shecky Green, who worked for both Sinatra and Elvis, passed away. Shecky was 97 years old.
I thought Shecky died a few years ago.
I thought so too, but that's not what this story says. He passed away over the weekend. Wow. 97 years old.
Wow.
Believe me, once you get in your 90s, it felt like you died a couple years ago. Not making light of Shecky passing. All right, 726.
He would.
BL Breakfast Club.
He would have a good joke about it.
Oh, I'm sure he would. And he would make a joke, and people would laugh about it. So just because I told him, he would expect nothing less of us, okay? 726. Text line is open.
This texter, going back to the caller, he says, it's the mentally ill women and the mentally ill men that will stay Democrats. Everyone else will eventually move over and see the light. And then another texter about that said he should have presented himself better. He was talking about the Lujan Grisham and Pelosi followers, mostly college-age students, etc. So, yes, they were. And then down here, I had another one that asked, B, what are biker boobs? And I'm going to let you do that minefield on your own.
I'm thinking of a woman that has gone a long time without wearing a bra. Mm-hmm. And things are like down to the knees. And you know what? I'm going to admit I'm still going to look, but I'm just put them into old. And I did use the word old biker boobs. But I did use the word old biker boobs.
Yeah, you're going to look because you're a man. And men, if they are shown, are going to look. I'm gonna look. Well, a couple weeks ago when we went and gave stuff out, Wee's friend came, and the whole day she didn't have a bra on, and she had one of these shirts on. It's like a workout shirt that goes like all the way down, and her whole boob showed like and I told my wife, I saw her whole boob 5 times, 5 different times. I'm gonna look. Yeah. So women, if you're wondering if men are going to look when you do that, yes, we are.
I'm going to, no doubt. New report. Did you see the report? New Mexico ranks in the middle of the pack and when it comes to utility bills. So the cheapest state for utility, Mississippi, South Dakota, North Carolina, Missouri, and Georgia. We're in the midway. The most expensive, of course, Hawaii. But we're in the middle. The average utility bill in Albuquerque is about $380.
Wow.
And I remember when I first moved from Texas to New Mexico.
Right.
Pretty much the same size house. And when I moved from Texas to New Mexico, I thought that they had given me a present.
Right.
Because the utility bill was about half of what I was paying in Texas.
That's about what I found as well when we moved.
Yeah. I mean, so utilities are not the problem in New Mexico. All right, from the Breakfast Club, Charlemagne. His name is Charlemagne to God. Anybody that calls himself to God, I instantly have a problem with. Right. But he's on the BET network, the Breakfast Club, and he does a morning show there. And he said he regrets endorsing Biden and Harris in 2020. I've learned my lesson from doing that. And once they got to the White House, Kamala Harris was such a disappointment. More and more black people are feeling this way. Last week, it was Saturday. We went to the town near us. I met an African American. This guy is a retired from the Army from Florida.
Right.
And a conservative. and a conservative. But he said, look, all my friends are switching over from Democrats to Republicans. He said these are non-military friends, too.
Oh, wow.
They finally woke up. They get it.
And I say welcome.
God bless you.
Yeah.
God bless you. City of Hobbs, proud to announce a promotion of Valerie Chacon as the city attorney. So congratulations going out to Valerie.
And that is, of course, because Ephraim Cortez was named district judge, and he was the city attorney.
Yeah. 31 migrants abducted from a bus near the U.S. border. So the bus stopped in Reynosa on the Matamoros Highway and was forced down. They took 30 passengers off, and they're now saying they were kidnapped. They were abducted from the bus. So no idea what happened to him, but it's on the Mexican side. Catholic Charities was the owner of that bus, not the owner, but they're the ones that were transporting people from inner Mexico to the border. Yes, I did say Catholic Charities. They are a big part of this whole migration deal, not just on the southern border, but all over the world. They're. I'm not going to hate you if you give to the Catholic Church, but they are a big part of the problem.
Right.
They are. They might think they're doing a good thing, but they're not doing a good thing.
Well, their heart is in the right place.
Yes, maybe. Burger King cook buys a new home with all the money that came in on a GoFundMe account. This guy never missed a day of work. Tom, you hear me? Never missed a day of work. 27 years. He showed up every day for the flame broiled burgers. Did I get that right?
Yeah,
flame broiled.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, somebody made him a GoFundMe account.
It was because he was there every day for 27 years, and the owner of the restaurant or whatever just was like, yeah, whatever. Because somebody thought he needed a special.
Movie tickets and some candy and a pen and the keychain.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they gave him. So his sister set up this GoFundMe account. Look, anybody that shows up to work every day, I applaud.
Right.
Thank you for showing up. Because there are so many people that don't want to work in America right now. It's crazy. Nuts. All right, text line. Then we're going to go. We got a GOP candidate I'll talk about. I'll get to that. And a Biden flashback coming up next.
Funny you should mention that because this text says, "Where is Tom?" Sorry.
Tom is at home right now taking that triacloman. Well, no, Tom was not feeling good. Went to the hospital. He does not have the flu, does not have COVID. So but he has a sore throat. So he'll be back, I think, tomorrow is what he said. I could be wrong.
Right. And, I fully support that if he's not feeling well, for him to stay home. Because he would be sitting right across from me, and I really don't want that.
Unless he did the show. From like I'm doing, remote.
Well, I mean, I guess we could probably do it from the bunker, but.
And he can, he can technically do it. But we've done that in the past when there was, someone was back when we thought, someone had COVID. Right. He did it from the bunker, but.
Well, I'm not.
I'm a little off today, B.
Just off. I'm just not feeling it.
And then we had a texter say it's not a gender thing. Still going back to the call earlier where the caller was.
Look, stupidity is not gender related. There's stupid men. There's stupid women. Yes. There's stupid women that think they're men, and there's stupid men that think they're women.
Amen.
I mean, they're just stupidity is just it's abundant. I mean, it's out.
One last one here, B. I will look at any boob once.
That's kind of like me.
I mean, again, if you put it out there, men are going to look. That's just the way it is.
Yep. And the trend nowadays is that they're not wearing a bra, and they're making these things that to make their nipple. I'm just like, what the hell is up with this? The Kardashians came out with a bra. It's actually a bra that women are wearing with like an eraser sticking out of the end.
Right. It's like a fake nipple.
Yes.
Yeah. And you can't say that that's not designed to make you look, because that's exactly what it is.
I always look at people and go, hey, the headlights are on. High beams.
And, and I say that as a man, but women look at men the same way.
No doubt. Look, our maid that comes and cleans and washes clothes and all that, she never wears a bra. And I always tell her, headlights are on high beam today. And at first she didn't get what I was saying, but then I explained it to her. And she just laughs and giggles. She's not changing. She doesn't care.
Right. Well, and anybody that wants to show off their body probably doesn't care. And if you're if I'm wearing something like shorts because I have tattoos on both calves, I'm okay with people looking at the tattoo. I like looking at body art, right? That are tattoos. And if most people who have them that wear things that show that body art, they want you to look.
Look, it's 100% humidity, 85 degrees. It's hot.
Right.
It's hot. Every day I come back from the gym and I am soaking wet. I mean, I could wring out my shirt. I take off my shirt and I hand it to her, and she says, "My God, you sweat." "Yes, ma'am. Here you go." To which the wife says, "Thank God I don't have to deal with you." All right, 877-396-W105, Biden flashback. Now, we talked about plagiarism. What Biden did is it called plagiarism?
Yes. Because he has
let's flash back to 1988.
Yep.
Now to the controversy that has suddenly erupted around the Democratic presidential candidate Joseph Biden, the charge that he has plagiarized parts of his speeches. Today, Biden was forced to take time out from his Judiciary Committee duties to hold a press conference to answer two charges: that he copied part of a paper when in law school, and recently adopted as his own quotations from the Kennedys and other politicians. The story surfaced last weekend when the New York Times compared a Biden conclusion in a debate in Iowa to a well-received speech delivered last year by British Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock.
By the way, if you go and listen to both speeches, it's pretty much identical.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you, Joe
Didn't
Biden.
Obama get in trouble for the same thing?
Yeah, I think Obama got in trouble for...
or at least Obama's speechwriter. If nothing else.
Right, it was a Kennedy speech.
Well, and then they blamed it on the speech writer. They're not going to blame it there. Obama's not going to, he's not going to claim it.
It always comes, if that's the case, it still always comes back to whoever it is that hired that person. And if you're the person making the speech and you hired someone else to write it, well, that would be the same as if you hired Kevin to say something and then he said it, and then you said, "Oh, that's not my fault." I mean, that would be the same, right?
Sure.
Wait, he does that all the time. What are you talking about?
I have plausible deniability. I do not control the words that come out of his mouth.
All right. Well, I guess it is a little bit different since it's written and somebody can look at it first and nix whether or not it goes through, but kind of the same thing.
When someone used this word at a school board meeting in Lovington, I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, Latinx? What the hell does that mean? Well, this mother goes to the school board meeting and she breaks it down why Latinx does not fit her family. Here's what she had to say.
Okay, good evening. Well, I'm going to talk about Latinx. I'm here to request the term Latinx not to be used to refer to people from Spanish-speaking origins, as mentioned on your ethnic study course. This term is woken. Latinx is a pronoun. Latina and Latino is the correct description of our ethnicity. Here is the thing. Every Spanish noun has a specific gender, either masculine or feminine, but they can also be singular or plural. So every word per person, place, thing, or idea is either masculine or feminine. Sorry, that's just basic grammar. Now let's talk about how Hispanics really feel about being called Latinx, the gender-neutral term promoted by progressives to describe people of Spanish-speaking origin in support of Hispanics LGBT members. Listen, I don't know any abuelita, grandmother, that calls her granddaughter, hey, you Latinx, come here and eat your rice and beans. Just doesn't happen, okay? To close my statement, I would like to remind this board that Latinos and Latinas, also called Hispanics, are people who are very proud of our culture and origins, and we want to pass that to our children. What we care is about improving our quality of life for our families and future generations, not gender-neutral terms.
By the way, they looked at the survey, and only like 2% of Latinos call themselves Latinx.
And
that's it.
And those ones probably weren't straight.
Yeah.
It's another woke ideology pushed on other races by white liberals.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And Ramaswamy had a message to the press. Look, if anything, I expect him probably to drop out soon. Even though he is trending better than Chris Christie, I still can't believe Chris Christie is polling at 4%.
No, who are these 4%?
I want to know who are the 4%. And Nikki Haley got herself in trouble when she was asked the question about the South, the Confederate States.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they asked the question, it was something like the first thing that comes to mind. And she went into great detail about it was a battle over government. And look, my personal beliefs that the Confederate States went to war with the North, it was not based on slaves. It was based on, we're not going to follow what you have to say, you bunch of Yankees.
The Confederate States didn't go to war with the Northern States. The Northern States went to war with the Confederate States.
Right. But it was based more on, we're not going to listen to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to listen to you, because the sad part about it is the northern states had just as many slaves. Yes. And I think we can all condemn slavery in every fashion.
Yes.
So she didn't mention slavery. And she took a lot of heat, and she had to walk it back. She had to walk it back, just like she walked back the TikTok thing. 743. But Ramaswamy talked about the press. And he wants young people to step up in the press. Here's what he had to say.
I want to have a conversation, because the historical pattern with the media is lie again. When proven to have lied, hide from accountability. From the Hunter Biden laptop story to the origin of COVID to the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that never was. I'm still waiting for one honest anchor in the mainstream media to just look their own audience in the eye and say, hey, I apologize. We lied to you, we got it wrong, and we'll never have this happen again. I challenge your guy, Alex, who likes to write, I would say clickbaity headlines to say at least you're from a new generation of leadership. Go ahead and step up, and maybe you can do it. Or maybe, Catherine, I bet on you sooner to do it.
And you know what? There are so many stories that were made up. We do need people to take some accountability and say we were wrong. And you could start with COVID. You could also start with Russia collusion and then make your way to Hunter Biden and his laptop.
That's not how they operate, though.
No,
they throw out a lie, and then they double down on it, and then when they get proven it's a lie, they move on to the next thing.
Agree. GOP has a new candidate running against Representative Melanie Stansbury and District 1. And he was once a write-in candidate for Congress, laid some groundwork as a Republican. Steve Jones running as a Republican. He's 77 years old, oil and gas executive, former certified public accountant. He resides in Ruidoso now. He confirmed that he is filed his paperwork, and is joining the 1st Congressional District in that race, raising money. And I will say it again. Nothing against Mr. Jones. But who does he appeal to? Look, I believe his goals are out there, but here we go again. 77-year-old man running for office. We got any young people that can actually run a campaign? And I wish him nothing but the best. And if he's a Republican candidate, the conservative candidate, I'll vote for him.
Right. And he's got his work cut out for him, because Melanie Stansbury, she's one of those who is an Emerge graduate or an Emerge alumni. And so they will handle her whole campaign. She won't have to do anything. She won't have to knock doors. She won't have to do any of that. And he's going to have to go out there and do all of that.
Right. I am.
And she's half his age and a woman.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a tough race. But and not a knock on Steve Jones.
No, not at all.
Knock on. But we are. How does he relate to young, up and coming Republicans? Because I've said it before. We're all going to die off. And if we don't embrace new members to the Republican Party, the party will die.
Right. We need to actively pursue bringing younger people into the party.
Yep, no doubt. Sean Hannity announced he's moving from New York. He's moving to a free state. What state do you think he's moving to?
Florida.
Florida, yeah.
And I would have guessed Texas, but he's in New York, so he's going to Florida.
Yeah, he's going to Florida and setting up shop. Of course, you remember when Rush Limbaugh made the move. So I'm just wondering how he's going to do his show every night. Rush Limbaugh was not on TV. He was on the radio, so that made it kind of easy. But in this day and age, they can set up a studio at his home, and he's good to go.
Right.
So I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, it's not like he has a really detailed set or anything.
No. New Mexico is setting up a fund for conservation. So when it comes to investing in land, water, and recreation, they are setting up this fund, and they've got 750 conservation projects around the state. Of course, this is part of the Land of Enchantment Legacy Fund. And so they're going to go to work, and they've got a lot of projects. Most of this funded by the Oil and Gas Administration, and the of course conservation so important, according to. And conservation is important.
Yes,
I think we do a better job now than what we did 20 years ago. 30 years ago, 50 years ago, and so on and so forth. All right, text line. Then we'll come back. I got one more story. We'll do the national anthem and the pledge morning show this morning. Being brought to you by Seminole Siding and Construction, trusted name across southeast New Mexico. They can take care of all the repairs at your house when it comes to siding, windows, roofs. They've got you covered. Seamless gutters. Get in touch with them. Go on the website, Seminole Siding at Construction.com. Metal buildings. They offer two types of metal buildings. Commercial metal buildings are the industrial type. And working with these guys is a pleasure. Everybody I've talked to said, look, they come in, they tell you exactly what they're going to do. They hit a home run, and they get the job done right the first time. They inspect it to make sure everything is good. Give them a call, 575-391-1430, Seminole Siding and Construction.com. What's going on with the texts?
One of these texters here, Patricia from I guess it's West Odessa, says, Will, it's good to hear your voice again on the radio. I pray you get better. And we all agree with that. Smokey from Arizona. Yeah, Smokey from Arizona this morning says, Mama said stupid is as stupid does from Forrest Gump's Mama. And that can be used for so many things today. And it got another one. Travis from Roswell also said it's good to hear you, Will. So that's good. And then Kevin, Toby from Hagerman is saying the Civil War also started because they removed Lincoln from the presidential ballot. I don't remember that, but I'm going to have to go look it up. And then Sean Hannity did his first show last night from Florida.
Oh, really?
And he is working out of the Florida Fox Bureau. And that's where
Florida Fox Bureau.
So probably a local Fox affiliate. I'm guessing that he uses their studio. Just a guess.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays, it wouldn't take much. It really wouldn't take much to build a studio and a couple cameras.
Well, and if he's in South Florida, you know, I mean, I'm sure that Miami has a pretty good sized Fox affiliate that he can just go and, you know, and use it.
I need to find that story because it said Florida, but it didn't say where in Florida. So I'm pulling this up. It just says Florida. Yeah, at no point does it say. Nope.
Well, and there's you know, if you think about all the people that relocate that do things, you know, the president, Trump, Rush Limbaugh, et cetera, they located to more South Florida.
Yeah, no doubt.
And so if I was guessing, that's where I would guess that he located to, although it could be anywhere. I mean, he could be Central Florida.
I'm wondering if his young girlfriend moved with him.
Probably.
Because she's on Fox also.
What I thought the real thing on the Civil War was, I mean, yes, slavery was a driving issue, but it wasn't the issue. It was over taxation, I think. Oh, and here I got a texter that just texted that same thing. It said that the War of Northern Aggression was because of taxation. Ta-da. So there you go.
I'm looking this up as we speak. So keep reading.
And he said, Sean said that was his announcement last night. And Sean never said where he moved to, just how happy he was to get out of New York, Mama Bear says. Yeah.
It says 1860 election, Lincoln was left off the ballot.
There you go.
Also left off the ballot. 10 southern states failed to issue ballots on behalf of the Republican candidate because he was opposed slavery.
So what do Lincoln and Trump have in common here?
The Democrats are trying to leave him off the ballot.
Yes. Yes. Because the Democrats were always the party of slavery. And they try to act like they weren't, but they always were.
Yeah.
So that's where we are.
10 states. 10 states left him off the ballot. All right, Texas man arrested after attempting to rob an ATM using a stolen church van. Geneva County, Alabama, this guy using the stolen church van tried to steal an ATM from the First National Bank of Hartford. The ATM alarm went off. Police received the call. They got there, and this guy was arrested on a host of charges. I am not a religious expert, but I'm pretty sure stealing a church van to commission a bank robbery will get you a fast pass to hell.
And in a bucket, not in a van.
Yes. By the way, Jesus clearly did not have the wheel or a valid PIN number in this case. Oh, my God, what's the matter with you people? All right, things that happen on this date in history, then we'll do our national anthem and the pledge. Things that happen on this date in history being brought to you by Chance Materials, reminding you that every project begins with a solid foundation. Chance Materials, 575-363-3240. You can find them online at chancematerials.com if you need ready-mix concrete. Maybe you've got a big project. Maybe you have a small project. There's one thing you can count on. These guys are going to give you awesome customer service and always the lowest possible price. ChanceMaterials.com. Plants in Carlsbad and Roswell, they serve all of southeast New Mexico. ChanceMaterials.com. Martin Luther was excommunicated from the Roman Catholic Church on this date in 1521. Henry Bradley received a patent for margarine on this date in history in 1871. I can't believe it's not butter. First drinking straw was invented in 1888. By the way, it was not paper. Paper, there shouldn't be no paper straws as you serve us coffee in a plastic cup, but the straw is paper just to make yourself feel better. Okay, I'm done with the rant. First missing person report broadcast in New York City in 1943. Open session in the U.S. House of Representatives was televised for the first time in 1947. Electric watch was introduced in 1957, and George Steinbrenner bought the Yankees from CBS for $12 million. By the way, nowadays, that's the price of a second baseman. The year was 1973. National Drink with a Straw Day and Chocolate-Covered Cherry Day. Elon Manning, former player for the Giants, co-host for the Manning Cast, is 43 years old.
That's probably
he's just a Manning, and he's having a birthday, 43.
The middle
also
Manning brother.
Yeah, middle Manning. Mel Gibson is 68. John Paul Jones,
drummer,
once was in a band.
Yep.
He's 78. Did several songs, not including Smoking in the Boys' Room. He's 78 from Led Zeppelin. And Stephen Stills is 79 from the group Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Which was made up of other groups, actually.
Yeah. It's a wedding month going on all month, and unhappy marriage month happening all month. By the way, if you're unhappy in a marriage, that's one thing you could do is work on making yourself happy and making her or him happy also. It's a team effort. 758, be on the Breakfast Club text line. We'll get to that when we come back. We are going to take a break, keep you updated with everything going on. We got to get to the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance. Being brought to you by our friend Rebecca Long. She started her business with farmers at the age of 19, 40 plus years later, still going strong. And there's one reason 40 plus years later, she loves helping people. She loves saving people money, and she loves getting them the most coverage, most bang for their dollar. You can give Rebecca a call, and she'll go to work for you. 575-393-2661. Call her today. Rebecca Long, she's your Farmers Insurance agent, proud sponsor of the National Anthem and the Pledge.
Hi, my name is Cooper, and I'm from College Lane Elementary, and I'm going to be saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
God bless America. God bless you. KWMW Malchamora 105.1 FM, better known as W105. Large prayer this morning being brought to you by Jude Oil, reminding you God is in control.
From Hebrews chapter 1 this morning, the sun is the radiance of God's glory and the exact representation of his being, sustaining all things by his powerful word. After he had provided purification for sins, he sat down at the right hand of the Majesty in heaven.
This is Mike Welsh. With Judah Oil, can you join us in the Lord's Prayer? Our Father, who art in heaven,
Our Father, who art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy kingdom come,
thy will be done,
thy will be done,
on earth as it is in heaven.
on earth as it is on heaven.
Give us this day our
Give
daily
us
bread,
this day our daily bread,
and forgive us
and forgive us,
our trespasses, and we forgive those who trespass against us.
and forgive us as we forgive those who trespass against us.
And lead us not into temptation,
And lead us not to temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
Amen.
Amen.
It is 2 minutes after 8. We're going to keep you updated with everything going on this morning. News being brought to you by Ragsdale Law Firm, the guy that settles the big cases. Luke Ragsdale, $10 million case, and the oil patch $9 million case, and a medical malpractice case. Settling cases, slip and falls, car accidents. Get in touch with Luke, 575-208-5300. Any type of personal injury cases, you need to call Luke Ragsdale. RagsdaleLawFirm.com. Also, if you've been in a criminal type case and you need somebody to defend you, Luke Ragsdale, RagsdaleLawFirm.com. 8:02, we're W105, taking a look at news.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. More legal problems for New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez in alleged scheme with Qatar.
Now the Menendez charges are bribery, honest services fraud, and extortion. The Menendez legal team pushing back this morning. They say the government's new allegations stink of desperation.
Fox's Peter Ducey. Nikki Haley on the stump in New Hampshire today. Her presidential campaign says they brought in $24 million during the October to December fourth quarter of fundraising. That's doubled the $11 million raised in the third quarter. New Hampshire's primary, January 23rd. We know she'll be on Maine's primary ballot March 5th, still to be decided for Donald Trump. The Democratic Secretary of State in Maine kicked him off the ballot. Now he's appealing that move to Maine's highest court. America's listening to Fox News.
W105 is giving away another trip to Walt Disney World in Florida. It's a trip for four with airfare, hotel, and 3-day park passes included. Each time you hear the Disney sounder, be one of the first 10 callers, and we'll get you signed up. It's presented by SDR Enterprises and sponsored by Benny's Western Store, New Mexico Junk Masters, and Rig Outfitters and Home Store. Listen and win. A Walt Disney World family vacation from your country, W105.
This is Davis Smith, the Guerrilla Lawyer, and I'm talking to you from my office on 3130 North Grimes in Hobbs, New Mexico. Our office has exploded with new clients. And do you know why? Fast settlements, fantastic customer service, and man, we love paying our clients money. If you get injured in a car wreck, you come see the Gorilla. Remember, if you get injured, you get the Gorilla.
Visit 3130 North Grimes or call 575-964-2720. That's 964-2720.
Incidents of illegal dumping of household, commercial, and industrial waste are on the rise across southeastern New Mexico. Illegal dumps affect public health, safety, and the environment. Folks in both Lee and Eddy counties can call now and report illegal dumping to a hotline sponsored by the Southeast New Mexico Illegal Dumping Partnership and hosted by Lee County. The hotline number is 1-844-496-5509. Again, that's 1-844-496-5509. Report illegal dumping and be a part of the solution.
Honey, what are you doing? It's 4 a.m.
Well, I'm making a big breakfast for you and the kids. We gotta get going this morning. It's a long drive to Midland Airport.
I booked our flights out of our airport here in Hobbs. It's in town, not in Texas.
Well, you want some toast?
Is that strawberry?
Organic boysenberry.
I'm going back to bed.
Love you.
Flying in and out of Hobbs gives you more time and less stress. So when it's time to fly, you gotta fly Hobbs.
If you, your business, or your organization is needing a venue or facility to host a meeting, convention, party, or other special event, don't cram everyone into your tiny little office. Call the Lee County Event Center. You don't have to fill up the main floor. The Event Center has many other smaller rooms that are perfect for meetings, seminars, parties, and other special events. The Lee County Event Center, seating for 25 or 2,500. 5101 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs. Call 575-391-2100 or visit LeeCountyEvents.com.
It's truck season at Sierra Blanca Motors in beautiful Ruidoso. Shop their line, overflowing with Ram Tough trucks. For a limited time, Sierra Blanca Motors is offering an unprecedented 13% under MSRP on their entire inventory of new 2023 half, 3/4, and 1-ton Ram trucks in stock. Shop online at SierraBlancaMotors.com. Sierra Blanca Motors, your four-wheel drive headquarters. No gimmicks, no markups, no addendums, ever.
This Eunice Cardinals update being brought to you by Guns Up Services, 2403 Avenue O, proudly supporting the Eunice Cardinals.
Guns Up Services LLC of Eunice, supporting the community for over 13 years. Would like to wish the Cardinals another great season and also encourage everybody to show up in support of all Eunice Cardinal sports. With oil field services that range from vacuum trucks, winch trucks, dump trucks, and backhoes. They have frac tanks, caliche, downhole chemicals, saltwater disposal, and freshwater sales. That's Guns Up Services LLC, helping to keep our oil field trucking. 2403 Avenue O, Eunice, or call at 575-399-2457. Go Cardinals!
The Eunice Cardinals enter this week's play at 5-4, and Coach Jason McBee says there's a lot of great things ahead for his team.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of positives to build off of. I thought we were tested in that first half right there with a lot of good opponents, and I thought there's a lot to build off of, and so we look to make a leap in this next second half and get ready for some district games here coming up.
And Coach, your defense is spectacular.
We've done pretty well on defense. We played pretty good in the Capitan game. Granted, the Melrose game, they had the best of us in that game, and we gave up too much points in that one. But other than that, we've played pretty good defense, and that's something that we've been working hard over the break, and we're trying to improve.
You got the Jow and Dexter tournaments coming up.
The Dexter tournament, unfortunately, there's a lot of district opponents in it. I wish there wasn't. But as far as the Jow one, I think we're going to get a good look at some good teams. We'll play NIMI, and then if we can get through that one, there's a likelihood that we'll get the winner of the Loving and ATC. And if it's ATC, they're a good opponent in the state.
This Eunice Cardinals update has been brought to you by Guns Up Services, 2403 Avenue O in Eunice, proudly serving the community for over 13 years. Go Cardinals!
Be in the Breakfast Club, powered by Carlsbad Chevy and broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain God studio.
A lot of you are tired. I get it.
I can't see my shoes. I just joined the gym, baby. Hired a trainer too. Treadmills, weight bills. Treadmills, weight bills. I'll only show up to the gym, baby. 8 days a year. Wake up every day, girl. Bacon's on my mind. I can't find a way, girl.
way, I'm saving it for when Tom gets here. Yeah, I've been there. I'm working out every day. Every single day. 8 days a year. 877-396-W105B in the Breakfast Club. People are fleeing from California.
Yes.
In 2023, people fleeing from the state. In Los Angeles, for instance, they used to be selling, of course, maps of where the stars lived.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're selling maps to where the stars used to live. Thank you, Gavin Newsom. Job well done. And a massive wave resulted in a northern Pacific Ocean pounding California's coast. Nothing like what happened. Where was that? Japan last week?
It was like a couple days ago. Yeah, Japan.
And they got that. They got that wave that like pushed the cars.
Yeah. No, that was in California.
Oh, that was in California.
Yeah, but the big waves are hitting because of the earthquakes in Japan.
Right. I thought we were going to, in the Philippines, we were going to get some of that, but haven't seen any of that as of late. I was at the beach today, short period of time. But, it's bad because people are sleeping in the tents in California. This could be disastrous.
Well, it could help clean up the city.
Yeah, it could. Yeah.
I mean,
shoplifters are going to have to switch to surfboards. But other than that, maybe no problems. All is good.
Yeah.
So thank you, Gavin.
And you really only have to worry about like Southern California on the beaches because Northern California, the elevation is higher.
Yeah. Driver blamed for that fiery crash outside a concert venue in Rochester, New York, early New Year's Day appeared to be targeting pedestrians. But there is no evidence that his actions were connected with terrorism. So the 35-year-old Michael Avery allegedly slammed his rented Ford Expedition into a Outlander because there were passengers in there. Crash killed Avery, but they're not saying it was linked to terrorism.
Didn't he have 5 propane tanks in there too?
5 propane, tanks. It took me a while to realize what they were talking about because, I'm redneck. We call them propane tanks.
Right.
They said propane canisters. Or they said gas canisters. So I was trying to figure out what a gas canister was. Oh, that's a propane tank. I had no idea what that was. And
when I hear gas canister, I'm thinking gas can.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, canister, but whatever. Looks like Kathy Griffin has filed for divorce from her husband. Have you seen her husband? Looks a lot like she looks. That way, when I saw a picture, I was like...
Isn't she the redhead that held up the severed head of Donald Trump?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay.
I'm surprised she's not calling her a failed marriage on blaming it on Trump. And in case you missed it, USFL and the XFL have merged.
Okay.
And they're launching a new season in the spring. I didn't even know the USFL was still around. Wasn't that Donald Trump's league back in the day?
I think so, but they relaunch, arena football and other minor league football.
I don't watch the NFL. I'm a college guy, but I mean, they've tried this before.
I mean, it's good for folks that can't make the NFL or has-beens or things like that.
Right. X, formerly Twitter, is already down 71% its value since Elon Musk bought them. I just don't know if I am buying that.
Yeah, I think they're trying to make it sound like he's doing bad.
And believe me, I had an issue with them a couple weeks ago, and I actually bought into, what's that called when you're certified through Twitter?
The blue check box. And Will is off for a few minutes. He has to rest.
So I actually paid, I think it's $100 a year or whatever it is. But the good thing is, if I want to do live cast and stuff like that, I can now. So I just decided I'll write it off on my taxes. To hell with them. If I file taxes. 90-year-old woman is missing in Deming. So they're looking to locate this woman and looking to see if they can find Wilma Hessler. She's 90 years old from Deming. She's 4'9" and weighs less than 100 pounds. Last seen in a Ford F-350.
So same height as the governor and half the weight.
Yes, half the weight. You had to bring up the weight with the governor. The governor's one calf weighs 100 pounds. Just one calf.
Yeah.
And an appeals court delivered a fatal blow to California. I'm about to sneeze.
Bless you in advance. So hopefully that covers it a little bit.
Wow.
Bless you
So the California city pushing to ban natural gas. The appeals court rejected the petition on Tuesday to rehear the case related to the ban on natural gas. God bless America. All right, text line while I get my stuff together.
Wow. And Neil this morning is texting and says, a fine good morning to you and yours, fellas. Sean Hannity did move to the Miami area. I was listening to Sean Hannity radio show yesterday, and he stated he moved to Miami and is working out of the Fox studio in Miami. Neil is listening from East Texas. God bless you, and God bless America. And then somebody commented about the football league, saying that's what the league's all about. It's all about the 54th player. So that's the extra player. Let's see. Sorry, I was only.
And there have been some players that went from that league and actually got signed on the NFL. They're not superstars, but that's the goal anyway.
Mm-hmm. And good morning. Good to hear you, Will. Big prayers. So have you heard anything on the Maui kids or the manifesto of that shooter?
No.
No, I haven't either.
No, I have not.
So
I'll see if I can look at it.
And talking about the guy with the canisters, says that guy probably works for Blue Rhino, and those were the new tanks he was taken to the store to swap out. We're caught up.
That's a hell of a business.
Right?
Serious. Whoever came up with that idea, ingenious. I'll give kudos.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody talks crap about lawyers. What would you think is the number one fictional lawyer in America?
Fictional lawyer?
Fictional lawyer.
I'm going to guess it's from a TV show, but I don't
Harvey
know.
Specter from Suits.
Huh.
And I love that show. I haven't probably been a month since I watched it. Coming in number 2, Saul Goodman from Better Call Saul. Louis Litt also from Suits. Came in at number 3.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want Saul as your attorney.
No.
and you know,
Gomez Adams came in at number 4 from the Addams Family.
What about like Perry Mason?
Perry Mason did not make the list. By the way, Suits killed it. Jessica Pearson's at number 9.
Wow.
So 3 in the top 10.
Wow.
Harvey Specter is, if I had to think about lawyers, yeah. But I love Better Call Saul. I thought Saul Goodman was a great character. 877-396-W105B on the Breakfast Club. We're going to get to the boob of the day in just a second. State lawmakers pre-filing their bills for the upcoming special session that is a couple days away. The governor hasn't publicized her wish list, but we do know what is going to be on that list, and that's going to be public safety, a.k.a. gun laws.
Yeah, it's not public safety. It's gun control. she wants to say it's about public safety. It's not. It's about taking away your guns.
Yeah, and look, the governor says that we need police officers, but look, you're Democratic Party. You're the guys that wanted to defund the police.
Mm-hmm.
Where did I go wrong?
Yeah.
Where did I go wrong? And, of course, banning assault weapons. And I'll say it again like I did yesterday. I would like the number from the governor's office. How many murders that were perpetrated by assault weapons in New Mexico?
That is.
I love that number.
You will never get it.
I wish you could give it to me.
You will never get it.
Well, I'm not debating that, but I get it. And the New Mexico PED receives $8 million for a teacher residency program. So the state's public education department receiving $8 million grant for a teacher residency program. New Mexico residency provides classroom experience for aspiring teachers by pairing them with educators in the state. So this is actually a good program. I also believe that there should be a program where we pay for the education of upcoming teachers and we send them to school with the caveat that they have to stay in New Mexico for 10 years and be a teacher in New Mexico for 10 years.
Sounds like a reasonable thing.
They pass legislation that they want to pay for teachers to become teachers, but there's no buyback.
Right.
There's no payback. The payback is that you have to stay in the state for 10 years, which seems reasonable to me.
Yeah.
If we're going to pay for your education, you have to help us out. Donald Trump mentions New Mexico as states on his aggressive electoral map expansion. Some of the states that he mentioned: New York, New Jersey, Virginia, New Mexico. So those are the states he is aggressively going after. Look, Texas, I'm sure, is on his list, but it's not one of those states. He carried Texas in 2020. So the other states are equally more important, especially nowadays where you got a lot of uncertainty. People they don't want to vote for Biden. Of course, there are people that will never vote for Donald Trump for whatever reason. We talked about it yesterday. The U.S. Boxing Administration is saying transgenders can box. Biological men can box women now. Mike Tyson's mad. I like Mike Tyson to box some of those guys. You want to hit a woman? All right.
That would be really interesting to see. You see some transgender boxers saying, "Okay, we're going to fight women now," and have Michael Tyson go in there and say, "Okay, well, I'll be a woman and I'll box you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Florida tire shop owner accused of shooting a landscaper after the landscaper blew leaves onto his property.
Oh,
Lord. Look, I get it, but at the same time, you can't shoot somebody.
Get a leaf blower and blow them back.
Blow them back. By the way, this guy's in a lot of trouble. You can't shoot somebody over them blowing leaves on your property.
No.
That's crazy. Boob of the day up next. Text line, it's 824.
A gas canister is a crock pot full of beans, says this one texter. I had to get in the says the texter. Since we're shaking things up this morning, I have a controversial take. I'm a conservative and have switched my stance on abortion. If you think it's primarily liberal women aborting their babies, let them do it. We don't need people like them procreating. Let's let good parents who actually want to have a family and raise good children.
You know who stance that's the Russ Black stance. We don't want them people having babies anyway.
Yeah, let them go. And the Dallas Cowboys kicker came from that league.
Oh,
I think that's right, because he played soccer, and then he was in one of those leagues, and then that's where the Cowboys got him from. And I don't believe he's missed a kick this season. So
that's awesome.
That's pretty good. Kevin, this person wants to know, better yet, how many crimes have been committed by legal gun owners in New Mexico?
That would be another great question.
Right?
Look, I'm not saying that people that go through the legal process never commit a crime, but what I am saying is that the numbers of somebody using an assault weapon, it's just one of those feel-good measures. It goes back to the plastic cup and a paper straw. It just makes you feel, it's like the plastic bag. Why everything else in the damn grocery store is made and packaged in plastic. It just makes you feel better.
Right. And then this person said, let me guess, the U.S. government will blame the Japan earthquake and the California tsunami on the oil and gas industry. Laughing out loud.
No, that came from COVID. We'll blame that on COVID.
And one more. The governor needs more police so she can control New Mexicans. Okay. There you go.
Look, state police doesn't want to be her Gestapo. They just don't.
They don't, but she directly controls them. So
yes,
they are kind
sad
of
but true.
Yeah,
sad but true. Boston Mayor, remember the party she threw? Lights were excluded from the party. You remember that?
Yes.
And it looks like she's not getting in trouble. Yeah, the Massachusetts Attorney General, Andrea Campbell, is not going to investigate the Boston mayors, eliminating all white people from going to the party. And the reason they're not is that it wasn't a public event. It was a private event that supposedly was not paid for by with government funds. Anyway, no white people allowed. Those type of parties are fine.
Yeah, those aren't racist.
That's not racist.
Excluding a race isn't racist if it's the right race you're excluding.
Yeah. All right, we got lots of things to get to. Let's get to the boob of the day this morning, being brought to you by Desert Functional Medicine Aesthetics. They've got all kind of aesthetic specials on the website and on the Facebook page, so go check that out. Some of the things I always talk about: natural remedies, natural supplements, stem cell, ozone therapy, hormonal optimization. If you're not feeling good and you are finally going to take the dive and have the deep dive done on your blood work to find out what is going on, or maybe you're a guy and you're just tired of not feeling good. It could be your hormones are out of whack. It could be. Let me just say, from a personal stance, I have lived in pain for 30 plus years. Ozone therapy actually helps with my back pain. And I've also discovered, and I'm not preaching to anybody, that going to the gym and strengthening my core is actually help with the pain. I know it sounds crazy because maybe lifting would aggravate. It's actually helped me. So to each their own. But if you're tired of just laying around the house and you want to get to the gym, the first step, get your hormones in order. And I have gone from almost 200 pounds. I'm 178 pounds today. And a lot of that has a lot to do with testosterone. Some people will say, no. Yes, it does. Most definitely. And better eating habits and exercise. But going from 200 pounds to 178 pounds and feeling I have more energy today than I have in 20 years. Go talk to Desert Functional. And ladies, I'm not leaving you out. If you're going through hormonal issues and you're going through menopause, go talk to them about optimizing your hormones. 3900 North Lovington Highway. Visit them today. Go online to thedesertfma.com. Desert Functional Medicine and Aesthetics, proud sponsor of the Boob of the Day.
A Florida woman filed a federal lawsuit against the Hershey Company over claims some of its seasonal-shaped Reese's peanut butter cups were advertised deceptively. Cynthia Kelly of Tampa is suing the company for $5 million in Florida's Middle District Court. In the lawsuit, Kelly claims the company is misleading consumers with inaccurate packaging, including depicting Reese's peanut butter cup pumpkins with carved-out eyes and mouths. However, she said the actual candies don't have those carvings. Hershey labels for the products are materially misleading, and numerous consumers have been tricked and misled by the pictures on the product's packaging, the lawsuit claims. Several photos comparing products' packaging to their actual shapes are featured in the document. They include a football shape that Kelly said resembles an egg. Go figure. The lawsuit suggests Hershey should correct the packaging to reflect the actual contents. The document also includes links to several YouTube videos of people reviewing the products and complaining about a lack of details on the candies. Kelly said that she noticed Reese's pumpkins while shopping in October at Aldi and believed that the product contained a cute-looking carving of a pumpkin's mouth and eyes on the package. In the lawsuit, Kelly noted she would not have purchased the product if she knew it didn't contain detailed carvings of eyes and a mouth as pictured on the label. The document also notes that Hershey's packaging didn't always include the detailed carvings, something it added in just the past 2 years. The Hershey Company, of course, did not respond to this because they are being sued by the Boob of the Day. So I wonder if this woman, if she sees baby food with the picture of the Gerber's baby on it, if she's going to sue the Gerber Company because it doesn't contain babies.
She could. People are stupid.
Anyway, for suing because the candy pumpkin didn't have the eyes, she is the Boob of the Day.
Boob of the Day being brought to you by Desert Functional Medicine and Aesthetics. Check them out. Some of the stories we'll talk about next. Looks like a 59-year-old man has been arrested for arson in Odessa. Also, Trump plans an aggressive expansion. Says that he is going to play heavy on certain states. I missed a couple states, so I'll talk about that in this story. New Mexico regulators revoking the license of 2 cannabis farms. And the ACLU going against the governor again. Again. Farmer POTUS predicts the feds will lower the rate to help the Democratic nominee. I'll talk about that. And Jimmy Kimmel is very mad. He's pissed at Aaron Rodgers. I will tell you why coming up this morning. We're beyond the Breakfast Club, checking in, finding out what's going on with news. Let me check the weather before we get to that. Weather being brought to you by our buddies at North Star Laundry. One-stop shop for all your laundry. Wash, dry, and fold your clothes. Not a problem. They can do that. They can start your clothes up, dry clean your clothes, keep you looking good. Now, if you want to do all of that yourself, not a problem. They have the coin-operated machines ready for you. Find them 609 West Lee Street in Carlsbad, 604 West Church Street in Carlsbad. And in Loving, you can find them at 406 West Cedar. North Star Laundry, check them out today. 57 and sunny all day today. Overnight low tonight getting down to 33. Tomorrow, as you get up, you might want to plan to leave a little early tomorrow. Patchy, fog, and drizzle tomorrow as you leave for work. High tomorrow, 50. Now, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, temperatures are going to be in the mid-50s, and things are looking pretty darn good. Good news of the day on the way. We're going to take a break, keep you updated with everything going on. 8:35, we're being the Breakfast Club. News coming up next. Blake, what's going on the text line before we take a break?
Most of all the shootings with tactical weaponry, which I'll call assault rifles, is actually less than 5%. Most all mass gun shootings happen with pistols, easy concealment weapons. And most of all areas that have done shootings are all in areas that banned guns, because criminals don't pay attention to laws. Only law-abiding citizens do. There you go.
God bless America. Telling you, wake up, people. Ask questions.
Yep.
When you ask questions, it confuses the hell out of the people that are telling the lies.
Well, it's because they have a narrative to push, and you make them stall.
Yeah. So, I mean, if somebody the governor is doing a press conference, that should be the first question. Governor, we want to ban assault weapons. How many deaths have happened at the hands of assault weapons?
And she's immediately going to answer, well, one is too many. That's the standard response.
If one kid dies at the hands of fentanyl, oh, wait, not fentanyl, the border's wide open. All right, let's get updated, find out what's going on with news. News this morning being brought to you by Atlas Makeup Mirror, atlasmakeupmirror.com. Go check out the Atlas Makeup Mirror on the website. You didn't get one for Christmas. Look, I know Valentine's Day is not that far away, but, I mean, do you really want to wait? Or are you just going to get it for yourself? Call Rebecca. Talk to Rebecca this morning. 575-631-3189. Talk about Rebecca Long. She is the local inventor. Recently, she teamed up with the guy, Kevin, from Shark Tank. He was the shark on Shark Tank. He was the original guy. He loves the Atlas Makeup Mirror. They came up with a advertising campaign, and they're all over the place. They already have hit it, Texas pretty strong. They've been in Vogue magazine. If you want to pick them up, you can pick them up at Albertsons in Carlsbad and in Hobbs. Also, Market Street in Midland, Odessa. They're there. Go check them out. Website, atlasmakeupmirror.com. for more information. Coming right back, we're B on the Breakfast Club on W105.
News brought to you by Stone Oilfield Services in Lovington. Getting the job done right every time since 2004.
Proudly serving most phases of the oil field process, Stone Oilfield Services has a fleet of over 60 trucks and a workforce of over 100 employees. From water transport to kill and vac truck operations, flowback services and pit filling to the clean out of rigs and tanks, as well as oiling and acidizing, Stone Oilfield believes in getting the job done right every time. Their central motto, do what you say you can do. Call them today at 575-396-1840. That's 396-1840.
MTD Radio News, I'm Joe Miller. It was a memorable New Year's Day for a group of New Mexicans who marched proudly in the 135th Annual Rose Parade in Pasadena, California. 7 members of the Order of the Thistle from Santa Fe and 3 members from New Mexico Fire and Rescue joined Pipes on Parade, who gathered roughly 100 other bagpipers from around the world to perform. The group marched 5.5 miles and is planning to make it back to New Mexico sometime this week. Inducted into the Carlsbad Hall of Fame December 29, Janelle Whitlock was remembered as fair with people and caring about her community. Whitlock died in 2021. She led an active life after moving with her family to Carlsbad back in 1957 from her native Arkansas. She had an extensive career as a public servant in Carlsbad as municipal judge, city councilor, and county commissioner. During her induction ceremony at the Carlsbad Museum, Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce Chief Executive Officer Chad Ingram said he developed a lifelong friendship with Whitlock after being ticketed as a young man for drag racing along Canal Street. Some of those memories being shared there. A Carlsbad High School student reportedly died in a shooting that happened over the weekend, according to Gary Washburn, superintendent of Carlsbad Municipal Schools. Washburn said police investigating the situation and did not have any more details as of yesterday morning. He said the incident involved a minor whose name and identifying information was not publicly released. Washburn said counseling services were offered by the Carlsbad Municipal Schools to any student in need. And that's a look at what's happening on your Wednesday. I'm Joe Miller, MTD Radio News.
This Lovington Wildcat update being brought to you by Battle Energy Services.
1315 Avenue D in Lovington, with 5 generations of their own Lovington Wildcats.
Proudly serving the Permian Basin for over 10 years, Battle Energy Services says good luck to the Lovington Wildcats. With locations in Lovington, New Mexico, and Midland, Texas, Battle Energy is your source for BOP nipple up and testing services. Also offering Safeland USA and H2S oilfield safety classes every Friday. 5 generations of Lovington Wildcats are behind the family and team at Battle Energy Services. Call 575-942-9472. That's 575-942-9472. Go Wildcats.
The Lovington Wildcats basketball team were in Roswell last weekend for the Cold Pouring Tournament, and they did very well against some of the top teams in their classification. Coach Casey Peck.
We're at the Roswell Pokhorn, really good tournament. We went 2-1. We lost El Dorado the first round, and then come back and beat Pedro Vista and Los Alamos. And then Los Alamos is one of the top teams in our states in our classification.
So you measure yourself against those teams. How would you say this team is right now, Coach?
Now, we're still going through some, growing pains of trying to figure each other out. I think a couple of times we had some turnovers where we had miscues, but once we get those resolved and get better in sync, I think we're gonna do some good things.
The Wildcats will host Roswell High Friday night at 7 p.m.
This Lovington Wildcat update being brought to you by Battle Energy Services. Call 575-942-9472. Go Wildcats.
Honey, what are you doing? It's 4 a.m.
Well, I'm making a big breakfast for you and the kids. We got to get going this morning. It's a long drive to Midland Airport.
I booked our flights out of our airport here in Hobbs. It's in town, not in Texas.
Well, you want some toast?
Is that strawberry?
Organic boysenberry.
I'm going back to bed.
Love you.
Flying in and out of Hobbs gives you more time and less stress. So when it's time to fly, you gotta fly Hobbs.
Why are families driving from West Texas, Hobbs, Jow, Eunice, all over southeastern New Mexico to shop at Bob's Ridgeway? Is it the everyday low prices, the most locally grown farm fresh produce? Is it the hand-selected and cut meats, the hundreds of weekly specials, the clean, friendly shopping environment? Or is it just the fact that that's where for over 50 years your grocery dollar has always gone farther? It's all of these. It's Bob's Ridgeway, 906 West Avenue D in Lovington, where your grocery dollar goes farther.
W105 is giving away another trip to Walt Disney World in Florida. It's a trip for 4 with airfare, hotel, and 3-day park passes included. Each time you hear the Disney sounder, be one of the first 10 callers, and we'll get you signed up. It's presented by SDR Enterprises and sponsored by Benny's Western Store, New Mexico Junk Masters, and Rig Outfitters and Home Store. Listen and win a Walt Disney World family vacation from your country, W105. In a world of lunacy, being the Breakfast Club makes you feel normal again. Well, everyone except Tom A. Be in the Breakfast Club, powered by Carlsbad Chevy and broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain God studio.
Grand Canyon, one of the Earth's 9 wonders of the world. Literally. Think of that. It's amazing.
Thank you, Joe. Go ahead and move on. 8:43. We are B and the Breakfast Club. Another day in paradise. Looks like Australian Nicholas Manning set the Guinness World Book of Records. He put on 10 pairs of underpants in 13.3 seconds. I always have to ask the question, and why?
Some of those records.
I mean, were you like setting the world record for chafing? By the way, he said he practiced and trained for 10 months to get the technique down.
Of course he did.
I'm guessing here. It's only a guess, but I bet he's single without kids. I'm only guessing.
Wow.
I mean, I could be off, but I'm only guessing. He's single and has no kids. Yeah, I bet. Crazy. Elton John and Brandi Carlile and recorded a new album together. Guess who also? The Who's Pete Townsend was part of that also. Now, who's Brandy Carlisle?
Brandy Carlisle she's a singer, but I think Pete Townsend and Elton John are good friends. I think they have been for a long time. Yeah.
According to a new study, only half of American credit card customers believe they can pay off their December balance in full. Half.
Well, then why?
I mean, people are living on the card right now.
But then why did you spend the money? If you know that you can't pay it off, why did you spend the money?
Well, because they made them spend the money. Somebody shamed them into it. What's the matter with you, Blake? People cannot have personal responsibility. What's the matter with you?
Oh, okay.
Odessa police have arrested 59-year-old Marion Stewart in reference to a arson investigation. The Odessa police and the fire department called to an area of Sam Houston Avenue on New Year's Day. Several fires, and evidently this guy, had started the fires.
Okay.
Based on the surveillance footage, Stewart was identified and accused of setting multiple fires. He's at the Ector County Jail right now.
Where he should be.
No reports of anybody injured in those fires. All right, Trump plans an aggressive expansion of the electoral map. He is going after states that, normally he didn't win. He didn't win Virginia. He didn't win Minnesota. He didn't win New Mexico or New Jersey. And damn sure did not win New York State. But those states, he believes, are states that he needs to be very strong in to win this thing. I think if it's a head-to-head election between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, I think Donald Trump wins. But with that being said, it's also very important who's counting the votes.
Very important.
Very, very important. Blake, did you see that 2 farms in Torrance County allegedly had too many plants?
I did.
And other violations when it comes to marijuana. Each of those farms face $1 million in fines.
And this is another example of they were independent farms. They were not part of these big chains. And so the ones that they go after are these independent farms, the little guys. Yep. Because they really, I mean, the governor proved this during the pandemic when she shut down mom and pop businesses, but wanted all the big boxes to stay open. But the state government is doing the same thing when it comes to the marijuana farmers, and they want to shut down the little guys because the big guys are the ones that give the kickbacks.
So I do see more and more that the little guys are the ones she's going after. By the way, one of the farms exceeded the allowed plants, and there were about 38,000 plants at that facility.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the magic number that you can have.
No, I don't either.
And 38,000 sounds like a lot of plants, but were they small plants? Were they large plants?
Right. I mean, were they seedlings? Because a tray of seedlings, that only takes up a 2x2 area can have 100 plants.
Yeah, exactly. 849, text lines open. We'll talk about the ACLU going against the governor again. We'll get to that coming up next.
Okay, so Big John is chiming in this morning saying, let me guess, that woman suing Hershey is about 350 pounds.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. There was not a picture, so I can't comment on that. And then I got another one here that says, in my opinion, and he's talking about the teacher requirement, 10 years seems a little too high. How about 5? We pay for 4 years of college, and then they stay for 5. 10 seems like it could be daunting to a new teacher who may not want to stay here for a decade. Well,
I think 10 is a good payback.
Why don't we make the state a place they want to stay for 10 years? I mean, that just Just seems like that would be a good thing to do. Speaking on that same thing, another texter says, let's address the PED paying for people's education to be a teacher. Hobbs currently has educators that have paid for their own college and can't get a teaching job due to the PED testing requirements. If the state and the PED would address that issue, they could possibly have enough teachers to fill the vacancies that they have.
Now, wait a second. I don't understand that. So somebody can get a teaching degree, but they can't get a job. Whatever the requirements are there.
I'm not sure, and I don't know if they mean that they're.
I want to understand this. Please, elaborate on that.
Right. And I'm wondering if like those are like long-term substitutes they're talking about, or who they are. That if you have a teaching degree, who can't get a job with a teaching degree if you want to be a teacher?
Yeah, I'd love to know the answer to that. And maybe there's something we don't understand.
Right. And talking about the marijuana, we have one person that says they don't consider a weed plant a plant until it's in flower or budding.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 38,000 sounds like a lot of plants.
Yeah. But I mean, how big are they when they're budding? I don't know the answer to that.
Huh.
And then this one it says there's extra testing that the PED requires. So I guess that's the clarification. I don't know what extra testing that is. What kind of extra testing is it?
Don't know.
Me either.
I have no idea what would be the other additional testing.
Right.
I thought once you got your teaching degree, you took that certificate and you were able to go and get a teaching job in the state.
Right.
Look, we got
here we
teachers
go.
that are coming from other countries to work in New Mexico in our schools. I got several friends right now that are applying to New Mexico schools from the Philippines.
Well,
I asked, what's
did
the
answer.
process?
They did answer, and it says you have to test and pass after you get a degree, and it's $400 every time you take the test.
Well, let me just ask, and I'm just playing devil's advocate. If you got a degree, shouldn't you be able to pass the test?
You would think.
I mean, I look, and I get it. $400 seems a little excessive.
But doesn't the school district pay that anyway?
I would think. But if you went to college, you should be able to pass the test.
Mm-hmm. A different texter said a bachelor's degree from USW and can't teach because they can't pass the PED test. I don't know. I really don't. But Kevin, I have a different texter who's changing the subject on you. It says, what do you think it'll take for Trump to win New Mexico?
I think that's going to be a difficult task. And I'll tell you why. This state is deep-seated dumbasses. Wait, that just slipped out. Let me go back. Act like I didn't say that. This state is
entrenched,
deep-seated dumb. No. I'm not going to change it. I mean, it's exactly what it is. Look, we got people in this state. When you have 61% of people living in the state living off the government, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard for a Republican to win in this state. We are a welfare state.
Yes.
Sorry, there's no other way to say it. We are a welfare state. 61% of people living in this state are on some form of government assistance. It's hard for a Republican to win in a state like that.
Right. So what will it take for him to win?
I don't think he'll carry New Mexico. I don't think there's anything he can do. Now, can he turn people? Yes. But I don't think he'll carry New Mexico.
Well, and the other thing I think that we have to do is vote.
Yeah, we have to. Those that are registered Republicans, you need to get out and vote.
And you need to go and tell the young people why it's important.
Yeah. Well, as Republicans, we need to get out there and get more young Republican voters.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got folks at work and they're going, I can't believe we're allowing all these people to come over the border and we're giving them hey, register to vote.
Right.
What can I do to help you register to vote?
Right.
So that's some of the things that I believe. But I don't think Donald Trump is going to win New Mexico.
No, it's a tough road to hoe.
With 61% of people in this state being on government assistance, that would be tough. And there are people that will say, well, government assistance includes Social Security. No, I paid for my Social Security. That's not government assistance. I paid into the fund. That's my money that I'm drawing on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's somebody that's never worked and's on disability, maybe that would be government assistance. But in my case, I paid for my money, and I plan to live long enough to take all my damn money. At least that's the goal. All right, 856. KWMW Maljamore, 105.1 FM, better known as W105. More winning coming up soon. Keep listening. Monday to win a trip to Disney. We'll give you the opportunity to win coming up on Monday. News this morning being brought to you by the Butcher Block Meat Market and Grill. Haven't had breakfast yet? They have an awesome breakfast at the grill inside the Butcher Block Meat Market and Grill. Go in there, and they have a drive-through window. You can call in advance and just pick it up, so it's not going to take that long. They have awesome breakfast. 575-739-7778. Don't forget on the weekends, they're serving up menudo now. And if you're looking for a place that you can go and you can tell them how you like your meat. They have a full-service meat counter. Tell them that you want a steak yay thick. Tell them you like your pork chops very thin. Whatever the case is, they can cut to they can custom cut. They also have hamburger patties that are awesome. They're frozen and ready to go. And one other thing, they offer smoked meat daily. So you can go in there and buy by the pound. Give them a call in advance, 575-739-7778. Like them on Facebook to get the weekly meat specials and the daily lunch specials, or stop in the 1422 South Main in Lovington, Butcher Block Meat Market and Grill. Taking a break. We're coming back. Be on the Breakfast Club. We're W105. It's 8:58.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. Former President Trump's legal team is asking a state court in Maine to overturn a decision to remove him from the Republican primary ballot because of the Constitution's insurrection clause. Texas Senate Republican Ted Cruz on Fox's Hannity.
The favorite slogan of Democrats today is we're saving democracy. And, nothing saves democracy like trying to stop the voters from voting for your opponents.
A state court decision to remove Trump from the ballot in Colorado is on hold pending a federal court appeal. President Biden schedules his first re-election campaign speeches of the new year.
The president travels to Pennsylvania to mark the third anniversary of the deadly Capitol riot on Saturday, with a warning about the continued risk to democratic institutions presented by former President Trump's vision.
Fox's Jared Halpern. There's another speech on Monday in South Carolina. America's listening to Fox News.
When you need real licensed, bonded, and insured security, Southeast New Mexico Security Services is on the scene. Don't take your security for granted. Southeast New Mexico Security Services can protect your property, event, club, oil field location, or whatever else you need with licensed guards that will protect your assets. 20 years experience with security, licensed through the state of New Mexico, and fully insured. Give Jason or Ty a call at 575-706-8361 and stop worrying about the nonsense.
SDR Enterprises of Hobbs is hiring with openings for belly dump drivers, track hoe, backhoe operators, as well as roustabout and labor hands. Come and be a part of the team. Health benefits and 401k options are available to employees, and pay will be based upon experience. You must be able to pass a pre-employment drug screening. Apply in person today at 3901 South Eunice Highway or contact them at sdrenterprisesllc.com. SDR Enterprises is an equal opportunity employer.
Honey, what are you doing? It's 4 a.m.
Well, I'm making a big breakfast for you and the kids. We got to get going this morning. It's a long drive to Midland Airport.
I booked our flights out of our airport here in Hobbs. It's in town, not in Texas.
Well, you want some toast?
Is that strawberry?
Organic boysenberry.
I'm going back to bed.
Love you.
Flying in and out of Hobbs gives you more time and less stress. So when it's time to fly, you gotta fly Hobbs.
Hey everyone, this is Daniel Bellis at Carlsbad Chevrolet. I want you guys to relax a little bit. I want you to lean back and I'm going to hypnotize you. We're going to buy your vehicles at Carlsbad Chevrolet. We're going to give you top dollar at Carlsbad Chevrolet to buy your vehicles.
Now wake up and bring me your dang car. What's really going on? Bring your cars. You need to get rid of them. I need more. I'm ready to pay you top dollar like I pay the auctions. We need to supplement these new cars that are not coming, and we need them now. That's right here at Carlsbad Chevrolet. No hassles, no commissions, period.
The global demand for oil and natural gas is growing, and leaders are looking to American producers to satisfy that demand with the abundant resources available in our country. If you're passionate about keeping energy affordable for your neighbor and reliable for everyone, then it's time you consider a career in oil and natural gas. Coterra Energy is expanding their Permian team and is offering an unmatched employee benefits package. If you're interested in applying, text Coterra to 71441. That's COTERRA to 71441. Coterra Energy is an equal opportunity employer.
If you, your business, or your organization is needing a venue or facility to host a meeting, convention, party, or other special event, don't cram everyone into your tiny little office. Call the Lee County Event Center. You don't have to fill up the main floor. The Event Center has many other smaller rooms that are perfect for meetings, seminars, parties, and other special events. The Lee County Event Center, seating for 25 or 2,500, 5101 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs. Call 575-391-2100 or visit LeeCountyEvents.com.
Why are families driving from West Texas, Hobbs, Jow, Eunice, all over southeastern New Mexico to shop at Bob's Ridgeway? Is it the everyday low prices, the most locally grown farm fresh produce? Is it the hand-selected and cut meats, the hundreds of weekly specials, the clean, friendly shopping environment? Or is it just the fact that that's where for over 50 years your grocery dollar has always gone farther? It's all of these. It's Bob's Ridgeway, 906 West Avenue D in Lovington, where your grocery dollar goes farther.
W105 is giving away another trip to Walt Disney World in Florida. It's a trip for four with airfare, hotel, and 3-day park passes included. Each time you hear the Disney sounder, be one of the first 10 callers, and we'll get you signed up. It's presented by SDR Enterprises and sponsored by Benny's Western Store, New Mexico Junk Masters, and Rig Outfitters and Home Store. Listen and win a Walt Disney World family vacation from your country, W105.
Good morning, USA. I got a feeling that it's gonna be a wonderful day.
Be in the Breakfast Club makes you feel normal again. Be in the Breakfast Club, powered by Carlsbad Chevy and broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain God studio.
But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it too, Joe. 9:03. We got some crazy weather tomorrow, patchy fog and a drizzle. So if you're going to be going to work, you might want to leave a little early. Should I say it that way? If you're going to work? No. Get up and go to work. Maybe that's the way. I think somebody needs to be a little bit more forceful about getting people to go to work. So get up and go to work. Maybe that's the way.
And be careful driving when you do.
Yeah, because it's going to be nasty tomorrow. Quick check of the weather being brought to you by Main Trailer Sales. Don't go camping without Main Trailer Sales. MainTrailerSalesInc.com, 575-622-1751. These guys have been in business close to 70 years. If you're working out in the patch, getting paid that per diem, and you're living in a hotel, get a place of your own. Get yourself a fifth wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Get yourself a fifth wheel and let the per diem pay for it. Sounds like a great idea to me. And maybe your parents did business back in the day with Main Trailer Sales. Now it's your turn. Go check them out. You first begin online, maintrailersalesInc.com. You take the virtual tour of new and pre-owned models. Check them out today, maintrailersalesInc.com. Don't go camping without Main Trailer Sales. And London, 16-year-old Luke Little has reached the semifinals of the World Dart Championship.
Good for him.
Amazing part is he has never put down his cell phone. He continues to text while darting. Pretty awesome. Congratulations. And Snoop Dogg is provided regular reports on primetime NBC Olympic coverage from Paris. So he's going to be part of the NBC Olympic coverage from Paris.
I've seen some of those ads. They're funny.
Because when I think of athletic excellence, I think of a 52-year-old pothead.
Well, and here's the real good example of someone who has done very good for themselves by going out, and you can think he's a slacker all you want, but that man works.
He works, no doubt about that. So, yeah. If they're going to make Munchies part of the Olympics, I think he's the guy. Crazy thing is he has given up marijuana. He has quit smoking marijuana. No, I'm not making this up.
I don't think that's true. I think it was for a specific thing. I don't think he's given it up overall.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fibber. Whatever. Kevin Ford celebrated his 27th year working out. Well, we talked about the Burger King guy.
Mm-hmm.
According to a brand new study, Steamboat Willie.
Yep.
Mickey Mouse.
Yep. It is in the public domain now.
So what exactly does that mean?
So what happens with copyright law is that I think it's 90 years after the first creation of something. You no longer retain the copyright to that. It enters what's called the public domain, and other creators have the right to use that. Now, that does not affect trademark law, so Disney still owns the name Mickey Mouse, and they own all the other iterations of Mickey since then until they enter the public domain. But it happens the same with a lot of things. There's like a lot of superheroes and stuff that were from the early days that are public domain superheroes. And for the most part, it's just saying so that other creators can use that property. Now, again, they can't call it Mickey Mouse because Disney has the trademark on that, which is different from copyright. But that happens to almost everything. It's classical music, etc. And Disney has profited very much on public domain. When they did Fantasia, for example, all that classical music they didn't have to pay royalties on because all of that is in the public domain. So they've done a lot of that kind of stuff.
Good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yes. Well, and even the story of Cinderella, that story was in the public domain. Now they did it differently in their characters, their design on those characters. You have to wait until those enter the public domain. But the story itself was in the public domain, so Disney profited off of that. So there you go.
So now they're giving back. Looks like Donald Trump, Donald Trump has mentioned this, and now you got a former POTUS predicting that the Fed's are going to lower the interest rate in hopes of helping Biden. So Bidenomics, look, it's not working. But the president, Donald Trump, is saying they're going to lower this interest rate. They've already began to lower the interest rate. And that way it helps the economy and it helps Biden get reelected. I think it's too late. I think the pain is out there, and I don't think you can fix it enough. Look, I understand that's what Biden and Kerry Jean-Pierre and all these folks are pushing, that look how much better it is now.
Well, they think
things are awesome.
Yeah, but it's one of those things.
They think you're stupid.
They do. They think you're stupid, and they know that a lot of voters don't look at anything until just a few months before the election.
They think you're stupid. Yeah. What is the new deal with Star Wars director? First time a woman shapes the franchise. Did you see this story?
I did not see the story, but Kathleen Kennedy has been with Star Wars for a while, and she shaped the franchise for all the Disney, the last 3 movies. So, I mean, I guess
shaping
it's a
Star Wars.
It's probably a female director. Is probably what's going on.
A new female director and her name is, I'm not going to even try.
But there's been a lot of episodes in the Star Wars franchise on the Disney Channel that were directed by females. So it's not the first time a female has directed anything Star Wars. It's just one of the movies now, which
looks like an illegal alien arrested last month outside of the United States Capitol building with a machete had previously been released by Joe Biden across the southern border. Jose Marquez, 23 years old, was arrested by the Capitol Police on December 26. Officers found the machete and a knife and a brick in his backpack. Could the brick constitute a deadly weapon?
Yes. Yes.
So Immigration and Custom Enforcement yesterday said it looks like he is going to be deported again.
If only they would stay deported.
Yeah. He was arrested by the Border Patrol in August, and then they let him back in the United States. Congratulations. The plan is not working. Woman dead, another hospitalized with Legionnaire's disease. We haven't talked about Legionnaire's disease in a long time. New Hampshire Resort and Spa. 2 women became ill. 1 died. The other one remains in the hospital.
Well, Kevin, you're going to be talking about a lot of diseases coming into this country because we have almost eradicated from here that are coming from other parts of the world when you just have this invasion coming across the southern border.
You know, when my wife came to the country, she had to undergo testing for diseases. I remember she had to get a series of back X-rays.
She came legally.
Yeah, and of course, your lungs were checked, and they could check that through X-rays. But then she had to go and get a series of vaccinations.
But when you have this flood of illegal border crossing, and it's an invasion, they bring with them diseases that we have formerly eradicated basically from this country.
And we're not being mean by saying these people are dirty carrying diseases. That's not what Blake is saying.
No.
It's just a fact. It is just a fact that other countries did not vaccinate like we vaccinated.
Right. And I will use malaria as an example. Okay, it's a mosquito-borne disease. You know, you live in the Philippines, so you know what that's like over there.
Right.
But someone can carry that in their blood, come to the United States, can get bit by a mosquito. Now that mosquito is carrying malaria, and that's a way that a malaria outbreak could happen. And I'm not saying it's anything that these people are doing on purpose or intentionally. It's just that we have better vaccinations here against those kinds of things.
Yeah. Jimmy Kimmel is very upset with Aaron Rodgers. You see this about the beef? So Aaron Rodgers was appearing on the Pat McAfee show. And Aaron was doing his Tuesday hit. He's on McAfee's show every Tuesday. And he said he was looking forward to the Epstein release coming out. Aaron said a lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, are hoping that this doesn't come out, implying that Jimmy Kimmel was been on the Epstein plane. I don't know if he has or hasn't, but Jimmy denies anything to do with Epstein, and he blasted Rodgers as a soft left-brained wacko. It also said that he's going to take him to court.
Huh. So these liberals can throw these things, but if somebody
he
says
didn't say that Epstein and Jimmy Kimmel were friends. He just said that Jimmy Kimmel was hoping that it doesn't come out. The implication is there, but he didn't accuse him of anything. And federal charges for a woman who escaped a transitional facility in Albuquerque. So the charges with escape and trafficking have been, as she was caught with bundles of fentanyl and methamphetamine as she left the transitional housing facility. 43-year-old Jennifer Lynn Miller will be held behind bars as she awaits her trial. In September 2023, DEA agents found multiple bundles, including 400 grams of fentanyl and 50 grams of methamphetamine in a room she rented while she was going to a transitional housing facility. Is that somewhere where they go from jail to...
Yes.
Yeah.
It's from
anyway,
jail
she's
to
going
real
back
society.
to jail. Yeah, she's going back to jail. An Albuquerque man accused of selling guns that ended up in criminals' hands. Investigation by Channel 13 detailed the investigation against Anthony Lutz. Search warrant. Lutz had 76 guns in Albuquerque in 2019 and had been selling them illegally. 5 were found at crime scenes in Albuquerque. He faced a host of crimes. And you know what? That's the people. This guy right here should be the poster boy for the governor.
Yep.
This is the type of people you ought to be going after, Governor.
Yep.
Not law-abiding citizens. True story. All right, we're going to get to the good news of the day coming up next. We got one more break, right? Before we get to Tradio.
The break to Tradio is our last break, yes.
Oh, okay. So, good. We can get to the good news. What's going on the text line?
It says Seminole ISD paid my daughter as a teacher's aide while she was getting her degree online from Texas Tech. After getting the degree, she has to teach in Seminoles for 2 years. She still had to test for the school district after she had the degree, so that assures that she retained the knowledge. So that's what that texter says. And then another one talking about the Trump winning New Mexico says this state is divided north and south. The South supports Trump. The North supports Democrats.
To a certain degree, but there are Republican voters in the northern part of the state. They're just few and far between.
Right. And then, of course, in the South, we have Las Cruces, which tends to vote Democrat as well.
Yeah.
It says, you said this morning Colorado put Trump back on the ballot. The news said it's just on hold waiting for federal appeal. So he can still be removed in Colorado.
Well, we'll see. Right. But the state said he's going back on the ballot.
And then Jeff talking about Snoop Dogg this morning. Snoop giving up smoking was in reference to an advertisement for a smokeless fire pit or cooker of some sort.
All right. Maybe I should have checked the clickbait.
And then another about teachers. Most of my son's teachers are foreign. He struggles to even understand what they are saying with strong accents. And he's failing in English.
I get that. We should never have a foreign teacher teaching English.
Right.
And as far as I know, most of the foreign teachers that I know of are teaching math.
Sure.
And a lot of the honors programs, calculus and that type of stuff. And also helping with special ed students. Mm-hmm. That's most of the teachers. I could be wrong. But most of them are coming here to, special ed.
Well, like you said, math and physics and things like that they tend to be good in.
Yeah, I don't think that they're here to teach English or teach history. I could be wrong,
Well,
I could be wrong.
I think
I
a
know
lot of
we have a
times,
slew of teachers.
right? And I think with the shortage, they kind of just get put wherever.
I know when I was living in Ruidoso, there were 13 Filipino teachers in Ruidoso.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I know that is my wife has the Filipino radar. No, I'm serious. We could be at the grocery store. If there's a Filipino in that building, she knows.
Okay.
13. Now, that divided up between the elementary school, the high school, and the middle school.
Right.
But I get, look, I live in the Philippines, and there are certain things that they say that they think it sounds right, but it doesn't sound right to me.
Well, and it doesn't matter what country you're in, unless you're a native speaker of that language, you're going to have a little bit of differential pronunciations.
Now, there are people that work really hard. My wife's cousin, she lived in Spain, and she was a teacher. She's going to America. She has worked so hard on her dialect to make sure that she has lost her accent. She's pretty good at it. We also have a friend, Jaja, same thing. She works phone, whatever, call centers.
Right.
And so she has worked extremely hard. There are times where I have to tell my wife, what did you say?
There's times I have to tell native speakers that.
Well, no doubt. Looks like the owners of the new Epstein Ranch are protesting the property value. Oh, I bet you are.
In New Mexico, that one?
Yeah. The 8,000 acre ranch in Stanley, New Mexico, which is up there close to Santa Fe. So the ranch sold to San Rafael LLC last year, undisclosed amount. And Santa Fe County values the property at $21 million. Their property tax, what do you think the property tax?
On a $21 million property?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess 300,000.
$151,000.
Hi.
So they're trying to get that lowered. Oh, I bet you are.
Yeah. Aren't they like right next door? Aren't they right next door to the Scientology place up there?
I don't know, but that just seems like a lot of money.
Yeah, $21 million, they can afford it.
Man, I can't even imagine.
Well, I want to know who's in that LLC that bought the Epstein Ranch.
Who knows?
Was that an insider deal as well?
It could have been. I know it was on the market for years.
Well, okay.
Of course, after he died, they had to settle the estate. Mattress Mac lost a big bet on his Texas Longhorns. He's a Longhorn. He's a graduate of Texas.
He is.
And so he placed a wager, and he lost the bet. So is it 10.25 million? Oh, that's how much yeah. So he made a lot of money on the Astros. So he made $1 million wager on Texas winning the national championship. He lost that money.
Did you see Matthew McConaughey over on the sidelines? They showed him towards the end of the game. He was not happy.
No, I can only imagine. And you know what? Texas gave its all. I will say that much. But Mattress Mac actually drove to Louisiana and made the bet. And then came back. Of course, that's the first time Texas has been in the championship picture since, 2005, Vince Young.
Right.
Been a long, long time.
And you can't blame him for betting on his alma mater.
No. I mean, he made $75 million off the World Series in 2022. Dude's got money.
Yeah, and he likes to make those big bets because it draws attention.
Well, and I mean, he does all kind of promotions with Gallery Furniture. And if you don't know the history of Gallery Furniture, this guy was broke as a joke, had opened up a furniture store when a radio guy went in there and tried to sell him some advertising.
Mm-hmm.
He is now, Gallery Furniture in the Houston area is the largest advertiser for radio and TV.
Wow.
At one point in time, they said Mattress Mac could be heard on the radio or on the TV like every 5 minutes he was on.
Wow.
One of the radio stations. Wow. Crazy. All right, 9:25 morning show this morning being brought to you by Zia Guns, 1907 North Van in Roswell. Handguns, rifles, shotguns, they've got you covered. Trade in your old gun to get a better gun. If you're selling guns, I would go in there and talk to them. Ladies, if you've been thinking about getting personal protection, please go talk to them at Zia Guns. They have lethal and non-lethal personal protection. Zia Guns, 1907 North Van in Roswell, closed Saturday, always open on Sunday. Text line, then we'll get to the good news.
So this texter says the Epstein Ranch is between Moriarty and Santa Fe. So it sits on a top of a hill and is massive, they say.
Well, he wants to see who's coming.
Well, oh, that's bad.
Oh, that didn't come out right.
So I'm going to leave it at this. How about them Cowboys? Says this last
I don't know
text.
anything about Cowboys.
Well, since they inducted Jimmy into the Ring of Honor there at the stadium, there's a lot of people say that now the curse is lifted and they will be able to win and go on to the Super Bowl. And that would be interesting to see because they have a couple of tough teams to get through to do that.
Yeah, I don't believe in curse. That's just me.
Right.
I think the best team always wins.
I do.
Unless there's something where somebody's helping them.
And if that's the case, what you will probably have in the NFL this year, if it were truly the best teams, you would probably have Baltimore and San Francisco would be my guess.
Yep.
And we'll
see if the Cowboys can pull it out.
Yeah, we will leave the text right there.
All right, good news of the day this morning being brought to you by Farmers Insurance agent Herschel Rustin Hayes, Avenue D in Lovington. Check him out. He's right across the street from Bob's. Or pick up the phone, give him a call, 575-396-0513. You need life insurance. You need homeowners insurance, auto insurance, commercial insurance. He can take care of all of that. 575-396-0513. Call Rustin Hayes today. Proud sponsor of the good news of the day.
2 twin boys in New Jersey were born in different years this week. Their mom's waters broke on New Year's Eve, and the first one was born at 11:48 p.m. Then the second baby came 40 minutes later at 12:28 a.m. Their names are Ezra and Ezekiel, and so December 31st also happens to be their dad's birthday. So he shares a birthday with Ezra, but not Ezekiel. Okay. And a little white dog in Oklahoma got attacked by 2 coyotes, and a cat saved his life. The dog's name is Oakley. They attacked him because his owner's backyard is facing like a large area, and they pinned him down. But the family's black cat, Binks, ran out and chased off the coyotes. Happened in November, and Oakley ended up needing stitches. The vet originally thought he might also lose a leg, but that didn't happen. He's fully recovered now, and Binks the cat wasn't injured at all when he fought off the coyotes. And last month, someone near Fort Myers, Florida, found a pet pigeon that was missing for 15 months after Hurricane Ian. He was outside a hair salon, and they could tell that he wasn't acting like a wild animal. They found a bracelet on his ankle with a phone number, and they got him back to his owners just in time for Christmas. And that is your good news of the day for this 3rd day of January, 2024.
Good news being brought to you by Herschel Rust and Hayes. Check him out today, right across the street from Bob's. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply, 1105 East 2nd in Roswell. They've got everything for the farm or ranch. Stop in there, your certified Purina dealer, and they've got a slew of Western wear. 1105 East 2nd in Roswell, online at roswelllivestock.com. Also in Capitan at the Lincoln County Mercantile. Tradio's coming up next. We'll be back on the air for the Thursday edition coming up tomorrow, bright and early at 6:06. News this morning being brought to you by Roach Air Conditioning and Heating. Check them out. They've got the experience to take care of your air conditioning or heating. Cool thing is, Enrique Rocha is not scared to look at stuff like new technology, inverter-driven heat pumps, and that type of stuff. If you're thinking about upgrading your old system and saving money when it comes to energy savings, get in touch with Enrique Rocha, 575-631-1999, Rocha Air Conditioning and Heating. We'll see you tomorrow morning for B on the Breakfast Club. I'm out, Blake's out, Tradio's up next.
News brought to you by Stone Oilfield Services in Lovington. Getting the job done right every time since 2004.
Proudly serving most phases of the oil field process, Stone Oilfield Services has a fleet of over 60 trucks and a